Yeah, buddy, here we are. We're back. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out. What's up, Booby? We're going to be watching some Stargate today, you guys. We're going to be catching episodes 13, 14, 15, and 16. And a little bit of the special features from episode 16. Just a short special feature, nothing really too crazy. You guys know how this works. The watch party, find it, get there, do it. You can find it on Amazon Prime. You might have to deal with commercials. I've got the DVDs, so no commercials for me. Hopefully it's not scratched and it doesn't skip. But we got our timer, our unmoved timer, unless I jank it up. Thank you guys for being here. Grab your snacks, your drinks, your watch party enhancers. Find the episode, Season 6, Episode 13, Sight Unseen. I'm at 5 seconds. This is what I see. Black screen, 5 seconds after the MGM Productions logo. Get there, you guys. Find it. All right, you guys. We're going to count to 3 and we're going to press play. Here we go. I'm going to kill the music. Kill the lights. All right. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Francis, what's up, my dude? Here we are. SG1, bro. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Nice, dude. Hell yeah. That's pretty badass, bro. Are you the one taking on 2? Is that what's going on? It was right there, General. Bro. Lockdown, bro. Damn, dude. I wonder what's going down there at the base. Good old SG1 will figure it out. So pretty much to have a fair 1 versus 2 is pretty much if you got a 4,000 point army, each of them has a 2,000 point army, right? Like that's pretty much how it goes. Area 51, what's up, my dude? Hell yeah, on that Final Fantasy yesterday. Badass. I watched it today. Damn. By making your you still need to make your list is so you can figure out how many points your army has. Like, is that what it's for? Is that what making a list is for? To know what troops you got, you're using, and how many points you are. Yeah, 45, bro, 4,500 points. That's badass, dude. Hell yeah. Thanks, dude. Yeah. W's all around for everybody. In fact, I think it's time to crack open our drink. Really? To me, it feels like a lot. I'm sure once I get a few more guys going, it won't be so much. But cheers, you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for hanging out. Damn. Damn, dude, that's wild. So just some mystery device emitting something we don't understand. Yo. Bro. 65K of dark and doom. Hey. Damn, dude. Hell yeah. Yeah, like Area 51 said, impressive. Most impressive. Yo. Oh shit, Tilk sees it. Tilk sees it too. Indeed. Yeah, dude. 500 points each. Does it? Does the size of the model make a difference on the point? Like I know if they're bigger and stronger, of course they're gonna cost they're worth more points. But like, are there little tiny models that are worth a lot of points? Oh, I guess there are. Like the real powerful guys. Yeah. Bro, if I let you help me pump my own gas, that means I gotta pay you, tip you. I mean, I already gotta pay for the gas. I don't have to tip you either. Oh no, I gotta tip you because you're cleaning my window. Damn, that's how they get you. Oh shit, Jack sees it too. What do you mean get down? Oh shit. Yo. You can't just fire your gun off like that in city limits. Ooh, you're in trouble, MacGyver. That's right. If they throw him in jail, he can just escape with this paperclip piece of chewing gum toothpick. Yeah, no worries, bro. Handle. Get it. Good old doggo. Duct tape. Can't can't forget the roll of duct tape he keeps in his in his keister. Yeah. Poopy tape. Yeah. So we're going alternate dimensions in this episode, huh? A dimension next to ours, bleeding through. Is this device making it bleed through? Or is this device the dimension? Can we go inside the device? Inside a whole new other universe? We'll see. Yeah, I think he's part of the team now, you guys. He is. He's doing a good job. Damn. They've always been here. Yo. Damn. What again? What were you trying to type in there? Space it out if you have to. Oh. MacGyver butt jokes, huh? What else could he have up his sleeve? Oh. Unplugged it, huh? No more particle emissions. All right. That means we're all safe. We're good. She saved the day. Another point for SG1. Another tally mark for saving the world and the universe. All right, everybody go to bed now. Oh, yeah. Some jello. Scoutmaster's. Good old YouTube. Telling you, man, if you ever make yourself an account on Rumble or Twitch, I don't think Twitch has got that much censorship in the chat. Rumble doesn't. Rumble, you can say all sorts of wild shit. I think Kick too. Kick doesn't have that much censorship on the chat either. Oh shit. Damn, more people are seeing them, huh? Even if the device is off. I wonder what's going on. Oh yeah. Scoutmaster Big AL from South Park. I'm feeling super, campers. Thanks for asking, bro. Funny ass episode. Yo. Oh my goodness. So, like, how are they crawling on the desk if they can't interact with our matter? I know it's a show, but like, yeah, no. Don't overthink it. Just enjoy. All right, all right. Be nice to my TV show. Oh, maybe it's touch. It's yeah, contact. Yeah, person to person. There it is. They got it. They figured it out. So anybody that touches anybody will see them. Damn. You bet I'm tired to cook. I need to get some energy. Get ready for tomorrow. All right, dude. Yeah, handle. We'll be here. We'll be chilling. We're gonna catch a few episodes. Thanks for coming through, and yeah, we'll catch you in a little bit. Yeah, get some some good snacks and drinks for tomorrow. And kick that ass. So far, people are buying it. Nice. Good old government. Your buddy, the government over there. Come on, Jonas, figure it out, bro. Mr. Photographic Memory. Francis, grab me some chips, bro. Some chips and corn dogs. Oh, shit. So who came in contact with that guy? The gas station guy? Maybe? No. Maybe? Oh, shit. But like he's just gotten... No. I don't know. Somebody touched him. He's the touched. Nope. That thing looks crazy, dude. Did they figure it out? Oh, they're touching, and it's gone. Damn, dude. Way to figure it out, you guys. I knew you could. As long as one person gets out, it's going to keep spreading. And imagine that one person that really is crazy, that's always seen shit, and they just think they're seeing shit still, and they don't say nothing, and they keep touching people, and it keeps spreading, but that one person doesn't report it because it's normal to him. Yeah. Yeah, think about that. Yeah, buddy. We traded him out for you the other day. Yesterday. As far as you can take me, dude. How many people can I contaminate from here to as far as you can take me? Maybe later, Ubi. What was the third thing that you said in here today? Something about drama at the park or something with some ducks? Bro, I'll think about it. Yo. Sure you don't. See, she don't believe you. I'm sure you don't, honey. She knows. She knows the usual cover story. I don't know what you're talking about. Playing dumb. The good old playing dumb approach. Huh, Ubi? Oh, you moved. Mrs. Sharp. Way to play it off, Jonas. Good man, good man. Vernon. Come on, Vern. Everything's Vern. You don't remember Ubi? We'll trade him out for Ubi coming back after he annoyed me. Okay, we'll trade him out then. So we took Imposter 223 out. We threw Ubi back in there. Damn, dude. So he's at the airport. Like, how many people did he touch? Look, he just touched that woman right there. That means she's tripping now. And like, what if she doesn't see anything for a little while and she leaves? She's at an airport. She goes to some other country and oh, dude, it's over. Oh shit, everything got canceled. Good old government. Oh yeah, there's a storm and we can't fly. What? There's no storm out there. Yeah, it's called nuclear fallout. We can't go out there. Oh. Yeah, everybody's seeing bugs now. Telling you, dude. If in one small little town there's Vern that's enough crazy to not say anything when he sees bugs, how do you know that there's not another crazy person inside this airport that won't say anything when they see bugs? Especially if they've already been down the loony bin before and they know, especially, oh, I better not say anything this time. I see it, but I better not say anything. I don't have to take my medicine again. Bro, you know? I'm sure they'll figure it out. They'll be fine. Everybody will be fine, you guys. Especially Vern here. Come on out, Vern. Everything will be Vern.
Can't get away.
Come on, Vern. Yeah, buddy. Welcome back, G. I'm gonna be kicking up the next episode here in a couple minutes. This guy, he's all shit. You're right. Play ball. If you don't play ball, we'll find someone who will. Okay, I'll play ball. Yo, hell yeah! I love those little Easter eggs that they throw in there like that. Hey, Easter eggs don't need to be like secret, right? That's why they have secret Easter eggs that you gotta that you just gotta find and figure out. Where there's Easter eggs that they shove in your face. Yeah, all right, all right, all right. Next episode, you guys. Let's see, what episode is it? Smoke and Mirrors. Episode 14. I'll get that timer back at 5. All right, we're at 5 seconds, you guys. The next episode, Smoke and Mirrors, season 6, episode 14 of SG1. We're going to count to 3 and we're going to press play. You can watch it on Amazon Prime. I got the DVDs, no commercials. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Senator Kinsey, you bastard. Hate that guy. The things you'll do to just go home. Are we there yet? No. Are we there yet? No. Are we there yet? Yes, we're there. Liar. Damn. Are they going to try to take him out? It's over. couldn't have happened to a sweller fella. Yeah. Yo. Jack, was that really you, bro? Or did somebody clone you? Or is this like your robot double? Why would Jack? I mean, I know he doesn't like him, but yo, we got some mysteries up in this one. Maybe we'll throw on some commentary. You guys down for some commentary on this one? Can I do commentary without pausing my episode? I think I can. Oh!
His screen time was no, but his character was very much and in jeopardy. So that was a good way to keep his character alive and deal with his availability issues.
Whose character? Oh, Jack.
The assassination of Senator Kinsey.
Now this woman's name is
Senator Kinsey?
Lee, which is not, I hope I'm,
buddy.
if I'm mispronouncing your name.
Oh,
she's a real local reporter.
Yeah.
In
Can't you tell like the fake ones from the real ones?
well,
Yes.
I think you can. When they audition, they do it really good, right?
Yeah.
And so we had to
No subtitles. Wow.
set that
Yeah.
shot up,
Yeah.
didn't you, James?
Yeah.
There are none. Lame. Oh, whoops.
This episode was written by Joe and Paul, wasn't it?
Yep.
Now, one of the jokes is that Joe and Paul write a lot of NID episodes. And in fact, Michael Greenberg, one of our producers, likes to remind them every once in a while that the Stargate does go to other planets because they write so many Earthbound episodes. But I think this one has merit. It's a fun episode where we misdirect the audience into thinking that O'Neill is most likely guilty of a crime.
You'll have to come with us.
Although I think at the core of it, the audience knows for sure that O'Neill hasn't done anything amoral, right?
Yeah.
And then they go, okay, how are they going to write themselves out of this, right? So we're not really surprising them in that something is amiss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no way Colonel O'Neill could have done this.
I'm aware of that, Major, but my hands are tied.
How could they possibly think that he's responsible? He wasn't even in Washington.
Oh, we have Major Davis in this.
Well, it says with Ronnie Cox as Senator Kinsey.
And
you know he's going to live because his credits just came.
Oh,
out.
because his credit is too big in the front.
And he got shot at the beginning.
Right. So there's no way it's not.
He's not dead.
Yeah. Now this is the corridor. This is the stairs that the actors come up when they audition for the show. This very staircase. As you're coming up to audition for Stargate, you got to come up those exact steps. And we stole a shot of the video, a little bit of a video for that same exact staircase.
You should video the actors leaving because you'll really get a sense of what the actors are all about.
The walk of shame.
The walk of shame when they leave.
I should have. Well, you know what? Our show is particularly hard to audition
leave,
for.
They leave. Go. What was with the Irish accent? What was I thinking?
Well, our show is a very difficult show to audition for because we have so many weird words.
Oh yeah.
That alone can kill you, right?
Yeah.
Where people come in and they say,
"Gay, bro, that's motherfucking Kratos, bro."
TLC.
TLC instead of TLC. Well, it's how it looks
The
on
new
the page.
Kratos.
It just looks wrong, right? You know? And talk.
You know, it's funny. My mom watches the show, and she talks like she knows it, and she always calls him Tolk.
That's his culture, my guy.
What happened to Tolk?
Yeah, well, when you're on Earth, you leave your culture on the other planet.
Studley, what was your auditioning experience like, Gary?
Yeah, I just listed off all the chevrons. There was nothing else in it. I wasn't talking to anybody. I was just saying, I was firing up the gate like I always do.
Were you funny?
That's all. I thought, I got to do something with this. I got to make this funny. That's all. It was my instinct.
So your audition literally was Chevron 1 encoded.
Chevron 1 encoded, all the way up to
Chevron 2
Chevron 7 locked. And by the time I got the Chevron 7 locked, I was Jerry Lewis going, Chevron 7 locked!
Bro.
Brad Wright and Michael Green, but their heads down, fists banging on the table.
They're just howling.
They're howling. And then Mario, the director, goes, that was great, that was great. And as I'm leaving, he goes, but not that big. And as the door closes on me, I think, oh my God, I overacted. Oh my God.
Bro.
You were under the impression you hadn't gotten the role
funny.
because you left the room.
Yeah,
And
whatever
you
your
would have gone
51
down that
said.
exact staircase.
Yeah.
And thinking, I've blown it. I'm not going to be going back.
Just going over, just reciting chevrons.
Oh, that's funny.
And going, I could have said Chevron 5 like this.
Right. And doing primal screaming on your way home to tell your wife, oh, I can't feed our child again.
Bro.
This year.
Again.
Right.
This year, again.
Oh, this is an interesting image. O'Neill and Shaq.
Wow.
So that's why I decided to start on that.
How are you?
Also, for the women who would like to see Richard Dean Anderson in bondage, that was another good reason for doing that.
Yeah.
Were you surprised when they called you back, Gary, for an audition?
Yeah, I was. And when I came back, there were other people there, and I had to really, really tone it down, and it felt weird. So, but the key was that I was the only one called back, and I thought, okay, well, if they can't direct me, and I screw this up, then I don't even deserve to be in the show.
Yeah.
So,
did you know any of the guys from before, from other shows?
the only person I knew was Mario, because he directed me in an episode of Outer Limits.
Nice,
Mario
nice.
is a very passionate director.
Yeah.
And people are constantly quoting him because he's hilarious. He's this very...
Did I ever tell you, like, the first day we shot, the first day we shot, we were like, I was there from like 6 o'clock in the morning and they didn't use me till like 4 in the afternoon. And I was so tired that I closed my eyes. And the one moment that I closed my eyes, Mario was like surrounded by all these extras. Remember, it was a 2-hour episode, the first one.
Right.
And he looks up and he sees me asleep in my chair. Oh, no. From all day, I'm
Busted.
sitting in that chair all day. I'm like, okay, I'm here. Use me.
Yeah.
Use me. And I just drifted. I went, oh my God, my eyes are so tired. I'll just close my eyes. I open my eyes and he's just staring at me. And then I thought, oh my God, he's in front of me. And then he didn't. The next day, I did it again.
Holy shit.
And he threw a nickel at the window.
To wake you up?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Ping! I open my eyes and he's giving me the little like, don't fall asleep.
Oh, that's funny. And all those naked women in that episode.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
To bug you about falling asleep.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Sorry, butt ass naked.
Well, Gary, I've always appreciated your contribution to the show.
Yeah, that's right. I got the DVDs.
I know that we had other technicians in the past, but for me, there'll always be just one technician.
Thanks.
And
remember, this was on HBO at first.
No, not the other person. You. No one does poo cramps like you, man.
Oh, poo cramps. Remember poo cramps?
I do
Poo
remember.
cramps.
The whole through line.
It was great. Drink this Pepto-Bismol.
2001. Gary said, what do you mean drink the Pepto-Bismol?
But I was game.
You were game, baby.
People saying, do you know that Gary's drinking Pepto-Bismol in the back of the scene? And you go, yeah, I know. I told him to.
I told him to. Duh. Duh. So
Bro.
this set is essentially a
Calm down, you guys.
completely featureless room, and this one drawer is the only thing that actually moves or does anything. And this wall was fabricated, and
all these drawers are
devices
fake drawers.
Are from the episode entitled Foothold. And then this is the same exact prop from Foothold, where you're able to take on the
aliens morph
form of somebody else.
The last recorded test of those devices was 6 months.
And so now we're beginning to understand how they were able to make O'Neill look guilty. Is the assassin, the sniper, made himself look like O'Neill, and then shot Kinsey to frame him.
Yeah, dude.
In so doing,
I almost feel like
Kinsey
we're all homies now.
O'Neill.
But
We can use it to find the real assassin. Maybe.
And then,
Yeah, dude.
of course, they make us hip to the idea that the way that you program these devices, the programming unit that we don't see in the episode is in Area 51 as well, was only allowed
Oh, they talked about you, bro.
duplicate a handful of actual people that have survived, right? And by the process of elimination, they're able to tell you that these particular sensors, only this person, and this person were able to survive, and that's what they basically inform Jonas. And here we have a classic example of why Jonas is such a great asset to this part of the show is he doesn't know what has transpired previously.
Sure.
He can read reports and know just enough, but we can tell him, and in so doing, tell the audience what they need to know about the episode. Kind of like CSI. When you watch CSI, it's everybody's an expert until they need not to be. I know exactly how this works, except I don't know how this other thing works, so I'm going to ask you so you can tell me. And
you know what else I've seen they do? Sometimes somebody will make a reference to somebody, and the other actor will go, "Oh, you mean like blah, blah, blah," and they'll explain it to the expert.
Right.
Oh, yeah?
They'll explain it back to them.
Well, because if there's only two people in the scene, one person needs to not know the information, the other person needs to know it. So that's kind of weird.
Yeah, but in that one, they both know.
Yes, which is weird. It's weird. So this is a fellow named Peter Fleming, and he's Agent Barrett. He's a good guy, an ID guy, and we established his character in Wormhole Extreme. And because there's so many Peters on in the show, there's Peter Williams, Peter DeLuise, Peter West, who's the DP on the show. It was just easier to refer to Peter Fleming as Flem. And,
Bro.
So we did.
Yo.
And often. Flem is a
Flem.
and that's Peter Calamus there too. There was yet another Peter.
Where?
Peter Calamus was on the screen there, and Peter Calamus is a local stand-up comedian who's incredibly funny.
Oh my God, that guy is funny.
You've hung out with Peter.
Oh,
right?
I've worked with Peter many times. He's hilarious.
Yeah.
I think I did. I've gone to like Montreal Just for Laughs festival, and he's been there too. He kills.
He slays, baby.
Well,
yeah.
He can never be as funny as my audition.
You know,
for this dramatic sci-fi series, that I turned into a bit.
Slim, bro.
Now this is a kind of a fun episode because it shades of X-Files here, right? He's got the black suit. There, it's all about covert ops and super secrets and what have you. So I just embraced it.
Love the
right?
X-Files.
Okay, this is our half-assed ripoff of X-Files, right? Scully and Mulder. And so one of the nice things about it as well is we start to see our Peter Fleming character, Agent Barrett. He starts to lighten up, right? Because he's cold, hard, square guy, and yet he's starting to lighten up, and he's going to give her inside information, right? And then at the end, he comes clean, and their through line, or the key to their dynamic is they both have secrets that they can't tell the other one, right? In a super secret environment, you have secrets I can't tell you. So I'm willing to trust you, so I'll trust you with my secret. Will you? It's kind of will you show me yours? I'll show you mine, kind of a thing, right? And over the course of the episode, they begin to trust each other, and I always thought that could pay off somehow, because basically every guy that Carter works with, who even has the slightest bit of sexual attention with, ends up dying. Right? She kills. She's the widowmaker. She's the Black Widow. Right. So I think we're going to deal. We were talking about possibly doing an episode in which she actually has a fellow that she gets involved with, and as a plot twist, he doesn't die. Ooh, that would be really amazing. He doesn't die, and the whole
people following the show will actually recognize that as a plot twist.
I think so. I think they'll go, "Oh, he's dead for sure," and then when he doesn't, they'll go, "My goodness, how could they possibly?" And along the lines of La Femme Nikita, Point of No Return, where you. Or Alias, if you're working in a super secret environment, you can't really have intimacy because you can't tell your significant other what you do for a living,
right?
Or why you're upset that day, or why you
right. When you tell somebody that
why you have a headache and you don't want to get
if you say to one of the other characters, you go, "I love you," they go, is that code?
Yes, that code. What do you mean by that?
What do you mean by that?
Nothing.
So who else knows about this?
As of this moment, the president, a few members of his staff, and you.
This is Cole, the little black dog. This is Black Dog Park. I don't know why I had both black dogs in the picture at the same time. And that was Crispy Barrett. He's our on-set construction guy. He works with wood, and that's his little mascot. He's the mascot of the show, Little Cole. It's a Skipper Key is the name of that breed, and he's amazing. He does incredible tricks. I wish I had put him in the shot more, but I think the show was about something other than the dog, but I don't know why he's not in the show more.
Can't understand.
Well, I guess it's never too late to learn.
So tell us about the visual effects.
Yeah, this is
not
pretty
a lot so
overwhelming.
far,
I
is there?
think
You know what there is?
Yeah, not many.
Well, we did the playback.
Yeah.
Watch. Oh, did you see how that? Oh, and then,
Yeah, and then the front side again.
see that? That took a lot of work. There was about 25 or 30 people worked on that.
Bro.
And if you watch this closely, it's actually looping. This is what we call looping, as opposed to actor looping.
ADR.
Yeah, this is
Not to be
actually
confused with.
repeating itself over and over again. And
So somebody would have had to construct the wireframe model
That's
of
right.
this.
Yeah.
Does it move like that.
and then we get into something else.
Yeah. The playback on this show is pretty cool.
Krista McLean did all the playback. She's quite
God
talented.
bless Krista. She locks herself
fantastic.
up in a room.
She does.
She chain smokes cigarettes and
does.
only eats preserved foods, food in packages, you know, because it
Some
have
Hot
long shelf
Pockets.
life.
If she eats.
Frozen
If she
burritos.
eats. And she only comes out just long enough to show you her work in progress so that we can go, no, that's not at all what we were thinking. Go back into your little hovel and
You
keep
never,
working.
ever, do you ever have to say that about her work.
No, Krista's she's the greatest.
Yeah.
And I always think of her as being overworked and underpaid. I think I'll give her part of my salary this year. or at least some of my Twinkies. She likes Twinkies because they come in packages.
Yes, you guys.
Perhaps Dr. Langham merely provided the mimic devices for a fee.
One of the things that is
I don't care what it takes.
hard to sell about this show is that, okay, this guy did that and that guy did this and this.
Yo, this was
doctor made a
like
gun over here, and he worked on
2000,
this
bro.
thing.
2000?
You'll
Yeah, I
just have
think
to
this was
trust
like
me that this
2000,
stuff does, in
2001.
fact, track. This warehouse is also across
You remember
the
how
street
what
or
Blender
adjacent
looked
to
like
our
back then?
studios, and we do quite a lot of stuff in this particular warehouse, which used to be a car dealership. And we did Wormhole Extreme. We've done all sorts of anything that is a warehouse ends up getting done in here, or pretty much so.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I'm a witness.
And then this is a very fun character named John Mann, who's coming up, and he has
John Mann.
Yeah, he plays
John-
Luther for us here. Do you know what series he's on? He's got a very cool British kind of thing about him, and he's a
John
wonderful
Mann.
character.
Mr. Man.
He's a musician.
He's the leader of a group called Spirit of the West.
Okay. And then so this was inspired. This whole thing for me. I kind of based it on the gun shop in Man with the Golden Gun. Remember when he's tracking down Man with the Golden Gun in the special firearm, and he goes Scaramanga, the three-nippled man, and he goes,
Oh yeah.
you know, he goes to this special guy and he says, you know, you made a special weapon with this special thing, and he goes to this super secret weapons dealer, and I thought, oh, that's cool. And so we made the. Not only can you buy weapons here, you can buy body armor and you can test the guns at the firing range behind him that's established. This cool Harleys, you know, if you want to, hey, you know, an impulse shopping item, I'll take a Harley with my sniper rifle, you know, that kind of stuff.
I'll throw it in.
Yeah.
Saddlebags.
Right.
Sound suppressed revolver rifle.
And this is James Michalopoulos, which it's hard to pronounce, so I just call him James something Greek. And you may recognize him as he plays a soldier every other week on the show, and or a rebel Jaffa in The Warrior and Allegiance. So he's on the show quite a lot.
He does all right.
Yes, he does all right. He's on the show more than you are.
Yeah, he is.
This is another thing that you would have done for us in VisFX playback,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Kristen took care of that too. I wonder whose fingerprints those were.
Some more visual effects.
Probably her own.
Well, could have been. They were real fingerprints. That's
Or she would have sampled it from the internet or something. Or,
no, maybe yours.
or maybe mine.
Maybe.
It's the best lead we have.
Now this this is a hotel suite that was converted from.
Except maybe
I think there was a show that was in here.
Damn,
could have been
bro.
Glory Days, I'm not sure that had a hotel suite as well, and that we just took over the set. A lot of times it costs more money to get rid of
Just
a
go
set
like
than it is to just
make
give it over to
skydiving
somebody.
like
You
a
have
new
to pay for
hobby or
labor for it
something.
to
You
take
don't gotta do
away.
it that way.
When was that?
Just before we started shooting this season.
Do you remember Glory Days?
There was another series shot in town years ago called Glory Days.
Damn.
You're kidding.
That I was in.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Check on my resume.
Okay.
Oh, I have it right here. No, I'm just kidding.
So this hotel room is a 4-wall set with that, and that return behind his head is not longer than 10 feet wide, right? So this is not a real building.
So where do we start?
And we took that over, and it worked out great. And that's the exact place where the sniper rifle was being assembled on that same, because that was a kind of a nondescript area, so it really didn't matter where the sniper was rifle was being assembled. So it might as well have been in that space, and that's where it ended up. So this is fun, a little bit of cross-referencing. Terrell's always good for a little bit of techno babble, and we start to take this stuff for granted. Every once in a while, we have a guest star come on the show and say, "Oh, we have some multi-syllabic words we'd like you to say," and they go. Oh, that's our second AD, Janice.
Oh, is that Jan? Jan Gann. Yeah. Jan Gann always brings me a breakfast burrito and a coffee every time I come up.
Well,
Now, how does that work? You show up on the set, and you say,
No, well, you show up on the set enough times, you get to know everybody.
"Yeah,
And
she's
then
not your breakfast slave."
No, she's not my breakfast slave. It's not that at all. But
they need you in
there's
makeup.
There's a kind of a sweet, friendly courtesy thing. And if I show up early, there's breakfast in my trailer, and it's always Jan, and it's the sweetest thing.
That's great.
Yeah, it's great.
So that's.
And I always thank her. I never take it for granted.
And so people are just, "What can I help you with? Can I get you a drink?"
Well, most of the time on productions they are anyway, because you think it's you, but no, they want the production to run smoothly.
Right.
So as long as you're not going, "Hey, these shoes are a 7. I said a 7.5, loser."
And I only want green M&Ms in my courtesy bowl.
As long as
you're
you're not like that. I mean, everybody kind of works together, and
but that must be hard to keep things in perspective if you're being given the star treatment at work, and then you go home and your wife hands over the baby and says, the child has explosive diarrhea. You take care of him for a while.
Plus another burrito.
Another burrito after that.
Yeah. Exactly.
David Swidell.
Yeah, that's me. What's this about?
Our apologies.
So this fella.
Oh, I love these hats that Teal'c wears just to cover that.
Just to cover the Mercedes emblem, my dad calls it. The Mercedes emblem. This guy's a cool guy. He's normally he would play he's just a stuntman, right? I mean, there's a lot more to him than he's a sensitive individual, but he's a stuntman and he's actually has lines, right? And the reason we cast this stuntman is because he's got a bit of a hairy stunt coming up here, and he's quite agile. And what you'll see in the next little bit here, kind of a Boomtown beat here, right? A little bit of a
well,
chasey,
fellas.
chasey. So we never
that.
actually went into this person's house, but we did come out of it. So this guy he's quite the athlete. He's just bounding over this thing. Now, when in the first shot, when we shot this, Corin grabbed that and the whole fence fell over. It just broke. So he did a big old pratfall there. That was cool, and which was not easy.
Nice shot.
So that was cool. Now we have a morph come up. You want to talk about morphing?
Yeah, these we did these effects for Foothold. We had to match them now, like 5 years later or something. They're kind of a morph, but not really. They sort of are a transition, and you need a little bit of time over to match the body positions, and then you sort of fancy reveal them from one guy to the next.
Daryl Sheeler. That's what that guy's name, the stunt guy. Now, when you say fancy
that's
reveal, is that
that's
like
for-
a button on your little mixing board there? You can fancy reveal. You push the button, or is somebody actually tracing out
Yeah.
the special reveal as it?
Yes.
I mean, I guess
reveals the
There's a
underguy.
lot of creative decisions
If,
that go into a fancy reveal, and it's not an
you got no
automated process by any
family, no children,
It's very expensive.
nothing like that. Then I mean, I
The
guess.
original version of the script. He
Hopefully,
just
I
gets
mean,
grabbed by
hopefully your
Teal'c.
children want to
And he
take
goes,
care
"No,
of you.
Don't hurt me. Right. I thought. So Peter Calamus, I said, we're just gonna knock your ass out. We're just gonna clothesline your ass and just knock.
We
you out."
don't
'Cause I
let
just
our
thought it was fun,
grandparents and
funner
old
way to-
folk
and it gave
homes in
Teal'c
my
a little bit of a-
family.
That's right. He
hero
wasn't
beat.
conscious.
They're with us
unconscious in
till the
first round.
end.
That's right, but I just
because
thought-
the effect actually would have been 10 times harder to do if he
if he was moving and struggling. Yeah.
But that's just us, you know.
All I'm saying is we have to be careful. We're operating way outside our jurisdiction, and like it or not, this man has rights.
He will volunteer the information. Of that, I am certain.
So this is a nice scene for him because he usually plays funny guys. So he's a little bit of intimidated here. He's nothing more than a scientist. He's not really a spy, right? So he tells us the way it is, right? And when I say the way it is, he begins to tell us about the shadow government and the incredibly rich businessmen who are actually running things behind them, and they've got so much money you can't say no to them, kind of thing, which is kind of touched upon in X-Files as a whole group of super elite, very rich men who are running things behind the politicians, and he alludes to that in this, and then we actually see those guys get busted, and I hope that there's other guys because I can't believe that we've cleaned up the entire shadow government in one go in this whole episode. This is kind of a fun little scene. Chris Judge actually doesn't say anything.
Okay. Yes, I took the mimic devices. I switched them with the fakes, but I didn't know what they were
just by staring at this guy, he's got such eyebrow intimidation that he can't stand it.
You think I'm part of some kind of murder
Bro.
conspiracy? Well, you're wrong.
This is a truly inspired.
He just comes
scene.
forth with all the info because Teal'c's just like
he leans forward. Oh no!
The death stare.
Could you be any larger?
Taken and brainwashed. Oh, like the school system? Yeah. I hear you.
It's almost like a prison movie, right? I traded you my bitch now. I got a carton of cigarettes for you. Oh,
snip.
Yeah. You my property now. I got a carton of cigarettes for you. So this guy's name is Cuthbert.
Oh yeah.
And he always plays bad guys.
Yeah.
He never ever plays good guys.
Never plays a good guy, huh?
And
some guys unfortunately have that look.
Yeah.
The bad guy look.
Yeah, they got the bad guy
And chicks
look.
dig that too. They, oh, you're so dangerous. Ooh, get me.
Yeah, that's
baby."
right.
This is a house. When we were scouting for a house, we actually had to tell the people we're gonna blow up your house. Okay, would that be okay with you if we blew up your house? I went, sure. And they had just redone their house here too, so it was kind of amusing to us that they were okay with
Yeah, whatever you
and
want to say.
as they walk up to the house, there was real glass where the glass was, and then there's the elusive pineapple. Look for the pineapple in every episode, ladies and gentlemen.
I guess so.
And here's the old ticking clock gas bomb. Let's go. Like to stay, couldn't. See you bye. Kablam. Oh, that was enhanced. You guys shook that. That looked cool.
Oh, we had a lot more explosion in there. We also have explosion in the reflection of the car as well.
Nice.
Which you
well done.
Wouldn't have been able to do.
No, you guys did it great.
Thanks, Paul, for getting us to do that. Paul's a good producer. He's fun to work for.
He uses logic.
Yeah.
To dictate.
he
his decisions.
uses logic.
Thank God there's one of them.
Hey, I resemble that remark.
What's up, booby?
They call themselves a committee.
Oh, the committee. Here it goes. The committee.
We're going to need an A.
They call themselves.
Well, there's calm, there's it, and there's T.
I don't know how much more clear I could be. Yeah. And then.
Why would you believe that?
And then Mr. T left them, and they just became Calm E.
In the last 6 months, there have been at least 10 new patents that can be traced back directly to Area 51.
See, I thought that this had a lot of
Industrial chemicals.
This is huge. I don't think we've cleaned this up. This is a giant a thorn in our side, what he's talking about.
Right.
There's a lot of money. People are selling secrets. Technology is being advanced through Area 51, captured technology, alien technology. And it would kill me to find out that we never deal with this again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to be careful about the kind of stuff that you lay out there in for the sake of science fiction. Because sometimes you can hit upon like some incredible theory, and then you go, "Oh my God, look at if we play this out, it has obvious implications in other areas, and you got to kind of deal with them."
Stargate.
Or not.
3 Days of the Condor. Ice bullets. Wait, we use ice bullets. Don't be telling everybody our secrets, right?
Yeah. Like that episode of Columbo. Remember where the guy gets killed in the swimming pool with a block of ice? Bang, gets hit in the head, and then they just chuck the ice in the pool and it melts, and it's like there's no murder weapon. Oh.
Damn. Yeah, no. I'm telling you, man.
Ice bullets? They really use them?
Yeah. YouTube's a censor
Not necessarily.
Say it
censor
out loud.
king around
You know
here.
what I saw in some other show recently?
Everywhere
Meat
else
bullets.
is a little more laid
Oh,
back.
yeah, same
but
thing. Meat bullets.
Like frozen
I
meat.
think that was CSI.
It was.
Yeah.
Meat bullets, and then it was like maggots and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
You trust me.
They should have like a maggot wrangler on the show.
Well, they're not. It's not
This
like
is funny. Did you see James
like
looking around, thinking his phone is going off? It's on TV.
Okay.
Well, nobody was diving for the phone like they would in real life. It's like the world's gonna end. Hang on, can you just hang on for a sec? I just gotta take this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have Brad at home.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Okay, honey. I'll talk to you later after I save the world.
Oh, the sourdough. Okay.
Okay.
I can't.
This assignment.
This is the culmination of the I have a secret, you have a secret thing. Do we trust each other, right? Which is, it's slightly obligatory or possibly, cliche that when people who are dealing on this level, they always have a secret that they don't tell the other person. It always comes down to trust, right?
Right.
Because it's a metaphor for a relationship or in life, right? We have to trust each other.
It was a perfect plan to get rid of Kinsey and the Colonel at the same time.
Oh, I just saw a gaff.
Where? Oh, you saw the bottle change.
Yeah,
from one
buddy,
to
no
the
evidence.
Tie got adjusted.
Oh.
Beginning of the scene, his tie's yarded way over, and now it's like in the middle.
Now it's where it is now?
Yep.
Well, how do you feel about that? Can you take
Bugs
an
me.
emotional
Drives
inventory
me
and make a feeling
nuts.
statement?
Drives me nuts.
Yeah, because it
Yeah.
takes you totally
Damn.
out
Yeah,
of the
no, I
scene.
believe it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
believe it.
I
For
swear
sure.
to God, it takes. I go, wait. Oh.
I don't have
what
any
the- 'cause in between
turned
the
on
takes,
either.
Right.
The costume person's
No
running in
censorship
going,
on my
"Oh, That
page."
looks weird.
Right. Why is your tie over there?
Yeah, where's your tie over there? And then they adjust it, and you go, oh.
So now he reveals his secret.
Which is that he can't do a tie up.
That he can't, right? That his tie is actually a living being that moves on its own, and then thereby making your problem with the scene.
Well, then I buy it.
Void.
Then I buy it instantly.
Right. This is my friend Ty.
Tie.
That's the way the game's played.
Did he say that's the way the game's played?
He did.
Oh.
He's got a little bit of a. Oh, you're right. His tie's all over the place.
There it is.
Jesus. Oh, that's terrible.
Did I not tell you?
Yeah, shame on me for not noticing that. Yeah.
In the long shot, it's like yarded over.
Whoops.
Yep.
Yeah.
Who are they sending?
Liaison officer.
Major Davis.
Major Davis.
Major Davis.
No, it's not me.
Major Davis.
No, I'm Staff Sergeant Davis. You mean Walter Davis? No, not him. The other Davis.
Norman
You mean
Davis?
Don Davis?
Don
No.
Davis?
That's the actor. No.
This
I
hospital
asked Brad Wright if he had
is
like
in
a-
Changeling.
if
You'll
he
see
had
this
a
hospital all
Davis
through
button,
Changeling.
If he had a Davis button on his script,
Yeah.
just hit the Davis button and just like it's like a search and find kind of, like
Alt-D.
replace.
Oh,
Alt-D.
here's another morph.
Yeah. Now,
the
remember,
Davis
debate,
button.
remember the debate about us putting it on top of the costume as opposed to right to the skin? A lot of talk about that. Should we put it? And if we had done that, he would have had to have taken his shirt off and unbuttoned and blah, 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 and the other guy would have buttoned up. So thankfully, we just put it on top of the costume.
Thank goodness.
Although,
It could have had a little bit of a
like a
pin
pinprick
or something that went through the
sure.
thing.
Although I
if it
think
is
we
an
established
intelligent
it had to go on skin and foothold.
Well, then I apologize for ruining it. I just didn't want to spend a whole lot of time.
Damn, dude, that's it for Kinsey, huh?
Agent Devlin, how'd it go?
It's
One of the things
over.
that's discussed earlier in the episode is which one of the group, which of the group characters had been programmed.
I see.
And
Poor
Carter
kid.
and Teal'c reassure Jonas that they or that
Bellatrix, hello.
replicated.
Watching a little Stargate, a little commentary.
O'Neill was.
This was in Foothold, correct?
That's right.
As was Davis, as was just about everybody in the base.
That's
Thank
right.
you for
But
being
some
here.
of them
Thank
were
you for
killed and
watching.
blown up, and their
Cheers, you
devices
guys.
with them. So those. That's why it couldn't be just any old person. This is kind of fun. Now these guys are very physical. All those two guys are the one the black guy was an actor, but the other guy was Brett Chan, and he's a stunt guy, and Colin Cunningham is actually very physical. He's a very strong human being.
Yeah, he is,
and quite coordinated. So he was able to make that look pretty cool, I thought.
Someone at the SGC? General Hammond. Once he's out of the way, we can replace him with someone more sympathetic to our concerns.
This is a non-linear way of telling a story. You cut back and forth from, and that's not a real elevator either. That's just another room with a fake. That's actually a fake elevator. Telling a story through flashback. These scenes are in flashback, and yet we're finding out how this seems to make sense. If he was so close to killing the guy, how come he didn't? Right?
If they know about the devices, they'll be prepared for something like this.
Devlin's right.
This is again. This takes place in the warehouse, in the room just adjacent to where the gun shop was.
That's Harvey Gold.
You know all these guys. Don McKay. Harvey Gold.
Well then.
Now, how is it that you know these guys?
Because I know his son Dave McKay and his other son, another
Dale
actor.
Wilson. Now here he is. Now this is Colin Cunningham having to play somebody else, right? Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Got him.
And another morph.
Mm-hmm. Back to Devlin.
Right. And I guess as she pulls her arm away, you have to make sure that.
Yeah, we held, because she would only have pulled her arm away on one of the two people, because we filmed two people there, so we hold her over from the first one into the second one.
Do you have to trace out her arm for every single frame?
Yes, it's called rotoscoping.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
It's
only 6 frames or so.
Now he's fritzing, and we find out that Carter, and this is how it all comes together. This is the genius of what Joe and Paul put together, is they don't reveal what has happened until the moment when you need to know that it's her and not him that's been talking to them the whole time.
Record for us.
And so what that is a reference to is that they recorded Cuthbert, the assassin, in the machine, the programming machine, but we're only able to sustain it for 6 minutes. And there's a good reason for that. So we can't just do that any old time we want in the future.
Right.
Now we may be able to perfect it in the future if we have a story that warrants it. But for now, that's as good as we can get, 6 minutes.
Damn.
And then, so that's the tie up to this storyline. And then, of course, we have to see how Ronnie Cox, how he puts a spin on what he's doing. And the irony here is that we saved him from being killed. Our group saved him from being killed. And he owes us his life. And yet what he does with that life is kind of anti-us. He's a pleasure to work with as well. He can button up his jacket and talk at the same time.
Totally.
No, he's great. My biggest job with him is just getting out of the way, and just letting him do his thing, right? And because he's a highly accomplished actor, and he's been acting since I was just a glint in my father's eyes, right? And so the same thing with Richard. I just try to get out of their way and let them do their magic. But with you, as you know, I tell you how to say each and every word of your lines. Right?
Exactly. I'm just, I'm a vessel.
I've referred to you as the vessel many times. You got that from me as well. So this when you watch the episode Changeling, you may recognize the exterior of this hospital and the park. The park that they were talking to, where they're having that clandestine meeting in the park, was just adjacent to this. That's
reshot.
The reshot. My version was
terrible.
Thanks for pointing that out. I think I had like 10 people, 10 reporters,
which is maybe.
But the success
in the frame, that was cool. That reshot looked great.
There's a lot of debate as to whether we wanted to use your shots and just add people to it, or
well, this was ultimately
go back
cheaper,
and
wasn't
redo
it?
Yeah, in the end, it was cheaper to do this. Although the first shot where your camera kind of came off the video monitor, we added a number of people into that shot. The guy who is in the foreground bending down and standing up, he's actually added
Over
later
in the foreground.
That's right.
Wow.
To fill it out just a little bit.
Do we cut? Oh, there it is again. There's a lot of faces there. That gets kind of expensive. Those guys, they're on like an 8-hour minimum or something. Each individual reporter.
It depends though, because some of them there's different.
After the first 15, they're non-union.
There's different rates of pay. It's not always. But what are you going to do? You need those people.
Yeah,
they're like
you got to make it look.
They're crucial.
Yeah, they're crucial. So this is an odd spin on what's happened, because here he is having to play along.
Smile, Colonel. You just won me the election.
And he does, in fact, become vice president, I think. I'm not quite sure what we said he was, but he becomes vice president on his way to becoming the president.
2009.
Damn. There was you guys.
So we almost guarantee him, through doing what we do to save our people and our process, we unknowingly vault him into a position of even more power and popularity.
David Arnold. Good to see he's working.
Yeah.
Well, you know, he did the theme.
And
too,
David
right?
Sinclair as well.
I gotta get that David Arnold CD.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because what you need is the club dance mix.
Are they gonna wrap it up by the time it ends?
And then the acoustic version, which is fantastic. The Stargate.
Loop.
Where's the technician? Where's the technician?
Where is the technician? We didn't see the technician the whole episode. Gary, you're underused.
Damn, dude. Hell yeah. All right, next episode. Episode 15. Paradise Lost. Sounds a good one. All right, you guys, we're at 5 seconds. We're going to count to 3 and we're going to press play. All right, here we go, you guys. 1, 2, 3.
Previously on Stargate SG1.
Colonel Mayburn, sir. NID.
I am Robert Cooper, executive producer. This is Michael Greenberg, executive producer, and he'll be the funny one through the course of this little extras package commentary.
You trusted me.
You rat bastard!
Hey! Take it easy!
I'm so gonna kick your ass!
Yeah, dude.
Turn me in? Actually, that overwhelming desire to shoot you has come back.
This whole episode came to be because
yeah, some hot dogs.
Some
Hell
of
yeah.
those clips of Mayborn and O'Neill, and thought, God, these guys have a really wonderful dynamic between them, a great relationship, and wouldn't it be funny to trap them on a desert island together, see what happens?
Yeah, Rick and Tom McBeath, they have a great chemistry, and they have it off camera too.
You want it back?
Would you like a beer to wash it down?
Already got one.
What are you doing here?
Want a
Can't
beer to
drop
wash
by
you
an
down? I
old
already got
friend's
one.
house for a little barbecue.
Well, there's that little treason thing.
Have me arrested.
Friends?
That's why I'm here.
I don't know.
This is going to be good, isn't it?
The current administration is coming to the end of its second term.
Yo.
I was hoping the
What happened to
president
that
might
commentary?
consider one of those special little pardons they often do when one doesn't care about re-election.
Tom's been in a number of episodes, and we were sort of talking about how we would bring him back again and how we would use him in an episode that featured O'Neill and him together. And realized that in all the episodes Mayborn's ever been in, he's never actually been through the Stargate. And so that's when we realized we've got to get him through the gate. And the challenge was coming up with a story reason why a guy who was wanted for treason would be allowed to go through the gate. And so there's this really long-winded explanation at the top of the show as to how Mayborn is going to convince O'Neill to convince the administration to let him come with on a mission.
That could save the planet.
Oh, I'm sure they would have come clean if push came to shove. But the address can be yours right now.
This episode was directed by an old friend of Michael's and Rick's, and Bill Garrity, who's directed a few of our episodes over the years and has a really wonderful visual sense, as we will, I'm sure, comment on throughout the show.
Yeah, he's a great storyteller. And
started as a director of photography, and
yeah, he worked under Gordon Willis. He was an operator on Godfather 2, and he brings a lot of experience to the technical end of storytelling, using the camera, the lenses.
Guess I won't be needing this anymore.
All the toys that we give him. Cranes.
The address to the planet with the ancient weapons. For God's sake.
Bro.
Won't do you much good without me.
Why not?
Simmons also didn't know that there's an impenetrable doorway protecting the weapons storage facility. And I have the key.
Ah, now our wonderful opening theme music.
The best opening ever.
There's so many grace notes that Rick and Tom put into a performance.
Cereal.
Aren't on the page,
Oh,
and that's when
peanut butter and jelly sandwich for
you
breakfast?
really have something.
Nice.
Oh, it's the
hell yeah.
Yeah. How'd that get in there?
Well, it was before we changed it.
Yeah.
Rick's not that happy with that particular shot, and we ended up switching it out. This new main title was a big deal at the beginning of this season. It was our first season on Sci-Fi, and they really wanted to distinguish the show from the run on our previous broadcaster, and of course introducing Corin Nemec. It I think is the best version of an opening credit sequence that we've had yet.
Yep.
It features the Stargate really prominently in its theme, which is important because that's, the show Stargate.
Yeah, buddy. Handle. I'll be
Nobody
chilling. Thank you
understood
for
the
coming through. Thank you for hanging out. I'll catch you a little bit later, my
I
guy.
still don't.
Peace.
Nope. You were correct when you said it's doubtful the Pentagon would authorize Colonel Mayborn's presence on an off-world mission.
Should we not at least explore the planet to which he has provided the address?
A lot of times when you're shooting a scene, you'd start normally with a master shot and try and establish the room and then cut into coverage. And in that particular case,
This was the toughest location to find.
Yeah, this is
What a dope
my second
place.
choice.
Finding a location that had a castle and a big planet looming above it was very tricky, very hard.
Yeah, dude, they had to set all that
Especially in
up.
Vancouver.
Yeah, but we found it.
We anyway, I was about to say that we've just sort of forgone the whole master shot thing and just gone straight into the coverage because everybody's seen the briefing room and now it's just cut to the adventure, get on with it.
Are you able to translate any of this, Jonas Quinn?
It's not ancient.
Here we come to a reference to the
Ancient Alliance.
Knox?
Asgard?
Furlings.
Furlings.
Oh.
Furlings.
Which, of course, I've gotten a lot of heat on the internet from fans of the show.
Now giving us actual furlings.
Because I mentioned them in.
Yeah, dude. No, thank you for hanging
early
out.
episode.
I appreciate all your guys' time. Here we are. We're doing it.
Called Torment of Tantalus, and they were the 4 races of the Alliance, and we have not heard of the Furlings since then, and everybody's been asking, what about the Furlings? What do they look like? Well, I finally decided to address it, and at least mention them, at least in passing.
Here.
This is a wonderful set. It was actually indoors, and really well lit by Pete West, our DOP on this show, and
this particular episode has a great look.
Yeah,
and as you see, later on, we used quite a few different lab processes to achieve it, which we'll talk about.
But we often will shoot sets that are interiors in the soundstage as an exterior. We call it interior for exterior. Very original.
Because it's been known to rain here in Vancouver.
Yeah, we like to control the lighting and the conditions. Sound makes it easier.
Turned yourself in. What happens from here on out is up to you.
This, however, was shot outside.
Yeah, strangely enough.
General, nice to see you again.
Despite your prior transgressions, you've shown a willingness to help us out of some serious situations recently, and that is why the President is willing to proceed in this matter.
You're welcome.
Let's see what you brought.
Wow, you did everything on this show.
Apparently, yeah, except act and direct and light.
What's the C stand for?
It's just a C.
Clarence?
It's actually Cookie.
Cookie. Probably Cookie Cooper.
C is for Cookie, at least that's what I was told as a kid.
So you're not that guy from HBO, right?
Apparently not.
Jack.
No.
I thought I was pretty clear.
Or DreamWorks, or...
Harry, you're under arrest. I've got the stone. I'm walking out that door. You're not in a strong bargaining position.
The only way this mission...
Now, O'Neill has a choice here. He can either go to the planet with that thing or go to the Dragon Tails land. He can, I wish.
Going to Pharaoh's tomb in Egypt. The stone was wrapped in a scroll with writing on it that no Earth linguist could decipher. I was recently able to get it translated, though.
By whom?
This particular episode was one of a few that was part of an experiment that we went through last year, where we did something.
You want to go through the door?
Maybe Michael could probably explain it a little bit better than I can, but we actually shot this for a widescreen broadcast. Most of our shows are shot 16:9, which means you do see the black bars at the top and bottom, but when you shoot something for widescreen, you don't protect for a normal 4:3 image, and so you end up with framing that is more complementary to the widescreen image. And throughout this episode, you'll see framing quite like that one there, where you've got the 3 of them raked across a frame that really takes advantage of that 16:9 frame.
So it makes it look like a feature, which is great. And our directors and cameramen, and we like it too, but you do have to protect for the inside.
Most people who are not watching it on DVD are unfortunately watching it in the cropped 4:3 image.
We're just taking a moment.
This is Mayborn's first trip through a gate.
Damn, his first trip through the gate, huh?
Little beats of sense of humor between the two, and when you write something, you often imagine what it'll be like when it's shot and performed by the actors, and without exception with Tom and Rick, it's always a little different, and most of the time a lot better than you could ever imagine it. They really do bring something to it. There are some of Rick's my favorite performances of Rick's throughout this episode. We'll try and point them out. He's got to have blinky lights.
What?
I'm sure I got it right.
Harry?
It should have worked.
Let me take a look.
Coming up here, you're going to see Mayborn grab Carter's Zat gun and hits her. And of course, our Zats always have varying effects on different people. It seems somewhat convenient, but we try at least to show that when you get directly hit by one and it you get that sparkly all over you, that's when you really sort of stay out cold. And if it just kind of grazes you, you might only get stunned a little bit. So we do try at least and address the fact that it has slightly different effects on different people.
And same with our force fields. We take great pains, and our visual effects department, headed by James Tishner, takes great pains to make those force fields look different and react different. Now, these darn dandelions opened at a different time every day. And it's amazing. You'd think that flowers would cooperate, but I remember waiting for this field to open up and get nice and yellow.
Welcome to beautiful British Columbia.
No, this is a planet. This is Paradise Lost.
Major Carter.
What happened?
I had extensive conversations with Joel Goldsmith, who does our music on the show, fabulous composer, and
Why'd you have to do that?
discussed the fact that we really wanted a very minimalist feeling to the music on this other planet, and that we wanted it to have a very haunting feeling to it, and he came up with this kind of echoey drum riff that plays throughout, and I think that really added
And
a
voices. There's voices and drums, and you were actually the percussionist. A lot of people don't know that on this soundtrack, which is...
Why, yeah, I'm often percussionist in many ways in my own life, without people knowing. Just
all the percussions were done on Robert Cooper's desk using various utensils.
Jonas, head back to the SGC. Ask General Hammond to send up a UAV. If Colonel O'Neill has activated his tracking device, we should be able to pinpoint his location.
Nope.
Sometimes we really don't feature all of the actors in detail in one episode, but you just give them little bits, little things to do, supporting aspects of the story, and it's really a credit to the actors, our regular actors on the show. When you will see Chris Teal'c, Christopher Judge, has very little to say and do in this episode, but his reactions, the way he notices Carter feeling the pressure of having lost O'Neill, mounting to the point where it builds up into that wonderful scene in the locker room, and all of that is paid off because of how well he plays those little moments throughout the show.
From all over the galaxy and offer them a chance to join them.
Now, as you can see, the color here is vivid and strong primary colors like the reds, the greens, the blues. And you'll see over the course of this story that all changes because of things that happen in the story.
Yeah, our Michael and Pete West and the director Bill Garrity and all of our real crew, once you put a script out, it's they really take great pains to find very interesting visual ways of realizing the story points, and they sort of saw this little arc of Mayborn and O'Neill's relationship changing and being
I really like Jonas.
The drug, and they wanted to portray that visually.
Yeah, I really like Jonas.
So right now you're seeing the color at its best because they're all
I think he's dope. I definitely wish we had Daniel back, because
get that in Colorado.
That was my guy, and he had to die. Jonas is cool.
Sly Siler.
Thank you, Sergeant.
For now.
Still nothing from Colonel O'Neill and Colonel Mayborn, sir. They've been gone over 2 hours now.
We're ready to go.
Sir, I'd like to apologize.
What for?
This is my fault. I allowed Colonel...
Watch Chris's reactions during these scenes, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. That
Yes, sir.
Carter is reacting emotionally, and it's just a little look, a little something that shows you that he's taking notice of all those things. The actors really work hard on those moments.
This is one of those Garrity Crane shots that
we actually made
brought
those
in.
trees,
Yeah,
right?
We brought in all those trees. It's just a road.
Bro.
We brought in all those trees because we had to have a place for the crane to get in and put itself.
Cabana boys.
That was a little ad lib.
I'll tell you, man.
Yeah.
I don't hear any steel drums.
How come you didn't cue the steel drum?
How old was that?
Yeah. Dude, they had to plant all those trees.
Continuation of the crane
just
shot.
for that shot.
As you can see. And here's the reveal.
That's wild.
Wonderful.
Told you they
job
had to
by
set
the
all
art
that up.
department, creating this
desolate
campground. We really couldn't have asked for better weather on this too. I mean, you sometimes plan to do these big outdoor.
Now, from this point on, you can really hear what you were talking about, the music, because it becomes very effective and it progressively pulls you into the story. And that's the mark of great scores, I think, is when the audience gets pulled in.
Yeah, they're not noticing so much the music as much as they are the effect of it,
which is getting pulled into the story with these guys because it's just the two of them.
You know, it does rain so much here, and you plan these big outdoor shows, and this is called Paradise Lost. You were supposed to feel as though this was a paradise that had been tarnished and tainted, and the fact that it was so beautiful was just an incredible stroke of luck, and
this in the brochure,
I think made the show when you see that beautiful rich blue sky over their heads, you know.
Yeah. Once again, that tough location to find.
We'll have to go back there.
Major, this technology is unlike anything we've come across before.
I know.
We have no reference, no way to interface.
I'm working on it, Doctor. As you should be.
This is actually one of my favorite shots in the show. It sort of revealed everything. It revealed Carter's look and pushed in on it. And it's when camera moves tell the story that I think they're most effective.
Definitely. And Garrity does such a great job with the style. It's basically style.
Well, but there's two kinds of style. There's style simply for style's sake, and then there's style that actually tells you part of the story. Yeah.
Find anything that might be a doorway back?
No.
You gonna kill me? I'll sleep on it.
Yeah, I'll sleep on it. Get him, Jack.
That's a locked off camera transition. We left the camera there overnight.
That was one of Pete West's
time lapse
big shots. He talked about that shot for days during pre-production. It turned out beautifully, and VisFX added the moon and actually the planet in the background.
This, believe it or not, is all at that same location.
I don't think we're walking out of here.
No way of knowing how far we were transported. We could be on the other side of the planet.
Which is why we survive here until we're rescued.
Until we're rescued. Jack, this place is supposed to be a secret. The doorway was designed to keep it that way.
Of course, we have the only key known to man.
Well, the least you could have done is eat that before you got here.
There's great moments where Rick doesn't say anything, and yet is
you get a good feeling of their relationship and the sandpaper.
Yeah, but bringing something to the scene that's not really on the page. You know, there's an element to the way these guys interact that is coming from them.
They're never going to find us.
mean, we do that a lot as writers on the show. We will take things that the actors do and perpetuate them or write new scripts based on that.
Have you received word from the Tok'ra?
Yeah, they responded and said they didn't know when one of their operatives with access to a ship would be able to help us.
Yeah, we've been on the air so long, we steal from ourselves.
Well, it's also that the characters really know, that the actors really know the characters as well as anyone, and help us as writers to find stories and figure out what they would really do in situations.
But you know what? Even if I could snap my fingers and turn it on right now, I'm beginning to doubt whether it would determine where it sent Colonel O'Neill. I bet almost anything that the targeting data is in the artifact that Colonel Mayborn used to open that doorway.
I say when we're done here.
With all due respect, Major, I will submit my report to General Hammond. If he's prepared to commit to a long-term analysis project, I'm happy to come back with my big suitcase. But until then, if you'll excuse me.
Whoa.
This is great because this is one of those scenes where you can really feel how much the members of SG1 care about each other.
Yeah.
Each other, and it's a real team.
Anything?
Couple nibbles.
This is one of my favorite scenes in the show, the arugula scene.
Well, this is Mayborn eating the leafy plant that is the narcotic.
When we first came here, I thought it was quiet. Now it's like I can't keep the noise out. Insects, animals, I don't know. I keep hearing things.
They're called birds.
No, these are weird sounds.
One of my favorite little performance moments that Tom does in the show.
Jack, I can't live in a
Yeah,
city. It
dude.
tastes like arugula. I hate arugula.
It's just a funny word. You just sometimes get those words that are funny.
You have to eat.
We tried I Hate Cleveland, but it didn't work as well.
It's too true. This little explosion was Visifect.
This little explosion was take 5, I think.
There was also a little explosion.
Yeah.
There was also a really great take where, unfortunately, this is a total
Watch
ad-lib.
this when the fish goes near O'Neill. He's so far in the background, but that's typical.
There's also an ad lib. I mean,
O'Neill/Rick,
Rick didn't even know that was going to happen.
Right.
Where Tom threw that at him, and there was a take of the previous scene where, as he's walking away, Tom puts the arugula on on O'Neill's glasses, and unfortunately, we just, after a lot of back and forth, decided we liked the performance on this shot better, where O'Neill says that's so wrong on so many levels. So we had to lose the arugula on the glasses bit.
At some point, we should release the DVDs of all the stuff we've cut out. We
dude.
have so many great things that we have to cut out, either for time or because they've just pushed the envelope too much.
Sometimes, yeah, I can think of a few.
Come on, Jack. You've seen Stranger Things.
What were they actually eating there?
Here,
Yeah.
I think it was
Real fish?
smoked
Smoked fish?
salmon.
Give me your 9mm. No.
That is probably one of my favorite line readings. I mean, it's just no, and he just made so many. There's so many sort of obvious ways you could have gone with that, and he did it in such a fresh way.
Forget it. You don't like it here. Deal with it. It's your own damn fault.
You wouldn't care if I died, would you?
What are you talking about?
Some alien creature comes in and attacks me in the middle of the night, hauls me out while you're sleeping.
You and I are the
It's very difficult in the course of 45 minutes to show this sort of big an arc of guys who are, know each other very well and would have expectations about each other's behavior, and to have them affected by a drug and become paranoid and mistrust each other. And this was obviously a key scene in setting up the extent to which they will eventually end up facing off. And yeah, it's being accelerated by the effects of the drug, but you still have to see that progression in the course of the story.
It's building in the performance too. These are two really good actors that know all the tricks of the trade. They break down their scripts, and they know what they're doing in every scene.
Yeah, and you find that out when you're cutting the show, and you cut a frame or something out of something that Rick worked really hard on developing, and
you get the note.
You get the note. Hey, I want to
with the acerbic comment attached to it.
I want to see the part where I scratched my head because that was really important to my performance.
The choker could retrieve it later by ship when one became available, so the actual cost would be minimal.
Compared to what?
To not getting the satellite back.
What about the cost of the delivery system? Never mind the manpower required to get it through the gate and then reassemble it on the other side.
Sir, I don't think you can place a value on Colonel O'Neill's life.
Of course not, but
Scheduled off-world activation.
we'll continue this later.
We're receiving a transmission, audio only.
This is Joe of the Tokra. To whom am I speaking?
General Hammond, Major Carter, Teal'c, and Jonas Quinn are also here.
Major, I just received your message regarding the disappearance of Colonel O'Neill.
Do you have a ship capable of scanning a planet?
Yes. In fact, I've already taken the opportunity to fly over the planet in question. There were no detectable human life
Big
signs.
misdirect in the story.
Are you sure?
Keep talking about the fact that it's a planet and that we've scanned the planet, and of course the twist coming up later on is that it's actually not a planet they're on at all.
Damn, so we figured out that they're on a moon, huh?
Another Bill Garrity special.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in writing this particular episode, this next section of the story was something that sort of intentionally set out as a challenge, and that was, could we pull off, 7 or 8 or 9 minutes of a show with no dialogue, with no, our show tends to have, a lot of yapping about technical stuff, or
if it doesn't, it has a lot of action.
Yeah, and this particular sequence here is very much just Richard Dean Anderson by himself, having to deal with the situation, and
the fact that he's now succumbing to the drug.
Yeah, and we kind of left Rick out there on his own. It's a tough challenge to give an actor with very little.
We actually left
support.
him out there after we wrapped on his own.
Yeah, he had to hitchhike his way back. Fortunately, we didn't need him for sure.
Yeah, buddy. No worries, my dude. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for coming through. I will catch you a little bit later, my guy. I'll be back Friday for some more Star Wars.
Very little music, very little sound help. It's just him with this mystery of what's going on. Why is Mayborn acting so strange? What happened to these people?
Yeah, we really, from this point on, we really tried hard to pull the audience into O'Neill's point of view in the story, to make the audience feel what he's feeling.
This particular that prop was supposed to, I think, more clearly tell the audience what was going on, and ultimately didn't register properly in the way it was. It was aged maybe a little too much, and the shot didn't quite show it well enough, and I think we were a little concerned that maybe people wouldn't understand what was going on, but ultimately I think the story becomes clear enough. I mean, what he's doing here is
checking off dead bodies.
There's a sort of pictograph on that piece of paper that's supposed to represent how many people were at this camp, and he's counting them to see whether whether there should be still survivors or not. Right there is the visual transition to the more...
Now, what we did here was two things. We did what's called a bleach bypass in the developer stage in the lab. And then we also play with the contrast and color in the color correct room with the Da Vinci system.
Oh, nice.
And in the post-production process,
Da Vinci Resolve,
I felt like I just wanted to add even a little bit
back
more
in
of an unsettling
2002,
feel to it, and that's why we added those jump cuts and just tried to make you, as the audience, feel as unsettled as possible. And jump cuts often have that effect. I don't necessarily like them overused. I think it can be
But they work
a little
well here.
heavy-handed, and in here I think it serves the purpose of the story very well.
Yeah, it's a good technique to get the audience feeling what O'Neill's feeling.
There was originally a scene in the script where O'Neill encounters the pig from that you'll see later, a little bit later on, and it ultimately just got dropped from the shooting schedule because we didn't have time to film it. We decided that it wasn't really integral to the story and that we could make it play without it. But there was a whole sequence of O'Neill sort of progressively getting more paranoid and feeling the effects of the drug as he made his way to this second camp, and unfortunately we didn't get a chance to shoot it. That little cue there is Joel, telling us that that's a Gould. It's the Gould theme in the music, and that helped tremendously in sort of tipping our hand as far as what that was.
This is a great SG1 camaraderie scene.
It appears there is no one else here but you.
We actually shot this several weeks after we finished principal photography on the episode, and I think Amanda at one point was worried that we might even drop it entirely, but I said no, there's no way we could do this show without this scene. It's essential to what is really the B story of the episode, which is how hard the rest of SG1 would work to get back a member of their team, no matter who it was.
And our franchise is the Stargate, obviously, and SG1. And that's the foundation of all our stories and these characters.
You also rarely see moments like this between Teal'c and Carter. There was, over the first few seasons, not much connection between them. And more, I think they have connected as friends.
I can't believe Chris played free safety at Oregon. He's like 240.
More running back.
Runs the 40 and
Michael,
like 4.5.
Michael Greenberg used to be a wide receiver.
God, I would hate to do a crow pattern in front of him. This was a great shot. This was Garrity's vision all the way. That's actually Richard Dean Anderson diving into the foreground of that explosion, tying him into it.
And this, unfortunately, didn't quite work out as well as we had hoped, but that happens sometimes. We tried to minimize it on screen as much as possible, and I think that the point originally...
You mean the CG...
The CG pig? Yeah, fortunately we had...
You sent them back to the drawing boards on that a few times.
Never quite played out, and what we had originally...
It was a little too Timon and Pumbaa?
A little bit. Yeah, a little too...
Kind of wanted it more alien.
Well, actually, what we really wanted was to have it be a little bit more of a sort of psychotic, drug-induced POV, where O'Neill was sort of... You weren't entirely sure what he was seeing at all. And
now, see the blood here? In the bleach bypass at the lab, it actually pulled out too much of the chroma, the red, and in the color correct on the Da Vinci, we actually added flesh tone back in. So the nice thing about digital intermediate prints is you can play with it all the way through post And a lot of features are doing that now, and we've been doing it for years, and now features are doing it. They're creating these digital intermediates, and we have them for every show. It's amazing what the tools that we have at our disposal to make these shows look good.
Damn, dude. Imagine if you could see us right
You can see
now.
how saturated it is. Desaturated.
Another little jump cut there to try and help create that feeling of being uncomfortable, which is what O'Neill is at this moment.
Rick's always uncomfortable.
Yeah. And in fact makes me uncomfortable sometimes.
General Hammond says he's considering new SG1 leaders. You included, Major.
We know. Do you have anything?
Damn.
Yeah, I was finally able to come up with some photos of that artifact that Mayborn got his hand on. It's quite old, making the scroll a bit difficult to read, and I'm pretty sure that the markings on the stone are just decoration, but,
Teal, wind back that tape.
There's the Carter gets an idea scene, which has become very difficult to write without feeling like you're being a bit cliche.
The doorway device doesn't use wormhole technology. It wasn't designed to send you across the galaxy. We thought they'd been sent somewhere else on the planet, but they haven't. They've been sent to that moon.
how do you know that?
The big circle is the planet. The little circle is the moon. The line between them is the path of transportation.
Damn, she got it. She figured it out. Hell yeah. Now that they're losing their minds.
I love shows where our characters get dirty. It always makes you feel like they've been through something.
Yeah.
And,
yep. Exactly.
Rick certainly did get dirty during this episode.
He loves that. He applies a lot of it on himself.
Hey! Harry! It was a ghoul!
So we've got Mayborn so drugged out that he's gone into his special ops black face, green face. We had to be careful in the takes and moments we used so that he didn't come across looking like Al Jolson.
Serve him, I don't know, but it's backfired. These people!
But again, it was an effort to just take his character to that...
to the extreme.
To the extreme. Like Apocalypse Now.
It's messing with your head! I'm not trying to kill you!
Oh, yeah? So much for not trying to kill me, huh?
Our special effects department does such a great job on reality-looking explosions and hits, bullet hits.
It's quite dangerous to be using this type of stuff.
It is.
Yeah, dude.
Ray Douglas and his crew do a great job. That's a great shot.
And the music here really makes it.
Yo, don't you do it, Mayborn.
Drop it now, or I will shoot you.
Yo. Don't you do it.
Yes.
It's where the camera speed actually slows down.
Yeah, the camera speeds up.
So the film
slows
impression
down,
looks like
yeah. Our cameras have computers on them that facilitate that. You just program it in.
Now, this was another situation where
This was Rick's idea.
Yeah, I was going to say, we had very little time, or you had very little light to shoot this.
Yeah, we had like an hour to get this or less. And Rick came up with the idea of racking the iris to overexpose the negative.
And it turned out to be a very sort of
almost
artsy way of doing the scene, which
And he gets a little too close to the lens so that it
distorts
his face. Part of the effect as well.
So now are we back out of the bleach bypass to the normal color?
Now we're back to the normal color because they've been... This is a big time transition
How you doing?
Oh, my head's a little clearer. How long have I been out?
I don't know. Day or so.
Really screwed up, didn't I?
Well, it's not your fault. None of the people here could stop themselves.
Right from the beginning. Sorry, Jack. I never should have dragged you into this.
Damn.
You've been a very bad boy.
Punk ass Harry. Oh, is he dying?
Hey, don't you die on me now.
Bro.
What difference would it make?
Yeah.
That's a great effect. Because we're about to be rescued.
A lot of people have argued that, why didn't you see Carter come out and, hug O'Neill and see the reunion? But I really think that those moments would have, felt a little over the top given what we had already seen. We know how they felt and that they missed them, and they missed
good call, you
O'Neill
guys.
and what the reunion would be like.
Nice.
Twice.
But it's really about these two guys.
Yeah,
and
one
exactly.
take away
break
from
that
that.
up.
This episode's about them.
Thanks, Jack.
Sure, Harry. Sure.
Oh yeah, you guys.
It's always a very pleasurable experience as a writer to see something realized in a way that's better than you could ever imagine it.
Yeah, that's the challenge, and hopefully we do that every week. We try.
And succeed more often than not.
All right.
Is this where you throw up?
I think this is where we're supposed to be honest with each other.
Oh.
What do you really think?
Nicole Forrest, she does a great job handing out the money, doesn't she, on Thursdays?
She's wonderful.
She's very popular on Thursdays with the crew.
So funny.
Here comes the old, is this the gecko thing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
no, this
right,
isn't.
Glasner?
Those guys.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, this is nice. This is nice.
Bruh. Too funny. Too good. All right, last episode, you guys. Metamorphosis. All right, we're at 5, Metamorphosis, Season 6, Episode 16. We're going to count to 3 and we're going to press play. I think we're just going to leave the commentary on, you guys. I mean, hopefully you guys have seen it before and are down for the commentary. And if you haven't seen it before, just follow along. I'll be saying stuff in the background. Here we are. We're doing it. All right, ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
I'm Peter DeLuise, director of this episode.
I'm James Titchener, the visual effects producer, and as it happens, the writer of this episode.
Yeah. So that was Jackie, the girl who just left. That's Amanda Carter's stand-in. She actually, we're working with her all the time.
That's right.
And so this is an episode that is the follow-up to Rite of Passage, isn't it?
Near T.
Yes.
In which we find that...
Which is the follow-up to that other one from the first season where we first meet Cassandra.
Yeah, little Cassie.
Right. Well, it pays it off, but we didn't know that she was a bomb then. We didn't know that she was a special being of genetic.
Oh yeah.
Sure. The genetic experiment art.
Sure. Page General Hammond and Colonel O'Neill to the gate room.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, dude. This one's all right.
In this, now this is a little bit unique because we're having a Russian team that is working all by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
which we haven't had before. Usually they work in conjunction with us, but we're saying that a Russian team is being operated out of the SGC,
which is a payoff to Redemption Part 2 at the beginning of the season, when to get the Russian gate we agreed to allow a
full
Russian
disclosure.
team.
Yeah, and so now they're working within our area. So Raul Gaviv, this Russian guy on the right here, he was in Desperate Measures. He was one of the guys.
Oh, nice.
He's playing a different character, but he's the same Russian fellow. He spoke nothing but Russian in that episode, and he was one of the guys who ambushed the troop transport and captured the Jaffa in Desperate Measures.
Hell yeah.
Now, what gave you the idea for this episode?
Well, it's an interesting story, and it's good that I'm here to tell it with you because you were key to its creation. When I came back to do the 6th season, one of the sort of agreed perks, what happens many times is to get us to come back and work on the show. A lot of people, such as our camera operator, will get to direct an episode, and our DPP West got to direct a couple episodes, and
Editors
that's right. We had an editor who directed 1 year, and Chris Judge is not usually a writer, but he was able to write an episode, and it's generally playing on the talents of the people who were involved. And the thing I used to do when I was younger, before I did effects, was write. So that seemed to be the
So if you can't get a raise out of this company, which is wonderful to work for,
yes,
then you ask for a writing assignment, a directing assignment,
which is actually an incredibly, it's a fantastic opportunity. And this is something that Brad allowed me to do last year, where he allowed me to pitch and write the outline for a show called Menace. So
me too.
Yeah, that's right. You
just
wrote
years
that.
earlier, where he let me do the first ones.
Right.
Yeah, he didn't have to do that. He could have told us both to go shine shoes or do our
Yup.
normal job.
He's a fantastic man, Brad Wright is.
It's nothing that I cannot endure. Please, I must know if you will help my people.
Sir, with your permission, I'd like to take him into Isolation Room 3.
Very well.
Come with me.
So I pitched an idea that about a scientist who believes that he can graft wings and other sort of fantastic appendages to human beings. And I thought that was a great image, and sort of coming from the visual effects end was something that I thought would be really fun for us to do, which is...
So you were envisioning a kind of a Barbarella thing with the
wings.
winged creatures.
Hopefully a little more realistic. And taking it a step further, it was that our enemy, our foe, whoever for that episode, was experimenting on people in a sort of a genetic way of combining strong animal traits with humans. So there were winged creatures, and there were super fast people.
The objective was always to make a better host.
Well, no, it wasn't. So I sort of met you one evening after we'd wrapped, I think, and you were around the editing room, and I sort of pitched the idea of these winged people. I didn't really have any story to go with it because I was just sort of starting on it, and the idea and the images of these winged people, and you and this foe who genetically modifies people, and you kind of steered me in the direction of Nirti. Reminded me of that past story that was
the rite of passage story.
That's right. Yeah. And also sort of put the seed in my mind of an Island of Dr. Moreau kind of thing, where suddenly now she wasn't so successful. Her experimentations actually are
that there was a price to pay for.
That's it. And these things aren't actually, super beings, which is what I was thinking. They're actually kind of deformed, horrible creatures, and
because everything I think of is from a movie that has already been done, right?
Bro.
Right. So I thought, what better way to graft your idea into a movie that's already
give
been
you
done?
something to hang on, something to rip off. So I went to Brad and I kind of pitched him the winged people idea, and along with Nirti and along with the Island of Dr. Moreau stuff. And Brad said, "Wow, this is very interesting. I really like the Nirti spin, and I like the Island of Dr. Moreau thing, but I just hate these winged people."
The seed of the idea. Well, that's not uncommon for the seed to get thrown out and the tree to be something else.
This is true. This is true. So once Brad agreed that was the story that I would continue to develop. It sort of went from there. And I literally started that in November the year previous and finished writing the episode, I think. Well, actually, I finished it the week after my son was born, which was the week of May 17th.
How many months is that?
7 months, I think.
Wow, so almost enough time to make a baby. Which you had a kid too, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, it was an insane year because we were doing Redemptions Part 1 and 2, which were huge episodes. I was also filling in as a second unit director and trying to write the script. And feeling a lot of pressure for it. I wanted to write a good script, and Brad had to remind me that, you know what, first and foremost, you're the effects supervisor, so don't get too caught up in having to write a good script. So in writing the script, you know, I wanted to write something that didn't have a lot of effects until we got to this point, which is...
Talk about this transition.
This is a neat thing. This is actually something Brad came up with together. We, you know, what happens
Cellular
is
breakdown?
the cellular breakdown of this character. You know, we have to see something horrific.
Bruh.
And it's pretty gruesome. And what we did was, you'll see here, he sort of some nice performance. And then...
Ew.
Boom.
Oh, wacky.
Wild.
So, ew, you're stepping in him. Get back. So in Russian, Raul, I think, just said, water, dude. So I try to get him to swear in Russian, but he never will for me because he's such a nice...
That was such a nice shot. That was done by...
Every cell in his body just broke down.
The guys at Image Engine.
That was cool.
Most of our key effects.
Now, what about all those water balloons that we popped?
Yeah. So what you saw there? Oh yeah, it's all there. What you saw there was the element of our actor, him spitting some water out, kind of at super high speed, and then a kind of a warpy morphy thing that we did to the 2-dimensional image, and a transition to we had about 6 condoms full of water. And we shot them at high speed with a high-speed camera, and we watched the water kind of break and dissipate off the table, and that was what we had color corrected it kind of a reddish color as well. So
it looked like the flesh was
a little bit,
turning to water.
That's right. Yeah,
something?
there's a key about 10 frames in there where you go from the person on the bed to the water balloons, and to make that realistic, we had to do a lot of work.
Well, I was there when that got filmed, and. Even I go, whoa, that's so cool, because it's got my name on it. But I'm, you know, after we film it, I have nothing to do with it. I go, you show it to me or my boss, and I'm like, yeah, that looks cool, you know. But you guys don't get enough credit, I don't think. Now that gate is not really there, is it?
No, that's a CG gate. You can tell because it's actually a little bit too thick. The gate part itself is actually.
So those stanchions are there, or those flags are there.
Flags are
the
there.
DHD is there.
DHD, the steps are there.
The actual gate
is a little thick.
But the CG Stargate is CG. And then this is a matte painting
I
coming
didn't
up.
know
Actually,
that,
it's kind of
though.
interesting. This was done in London at a facility called Hypnosis, and was
London, Canada, or London, England?
London, England, and it was actually painted by the visual effects supervisor of Tomb Raider 2.
Neato.
He's a big fan. So.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So did you get a really good rate then? Because he's such a big fan.
It was cheap.
Well, I recognize the mountain, but of course, when we filmed it, those planetary bodies were not in the sky, and neither was the fortress.
No.
And then, so even this overlay here is something that you guys would have put in there too, isn't it?
Yeah, that's our visual effect. So this was an interesting sequence too. Remember, we were out scouting this, and when I had originally written the script, I had said that. What I had imagined was sort of a long trail leading up to the fortress, and all of these stationed Jaffa up and down the trail to watch each other's backs. And we couldn't really find anything like that, but we found this kind of basin, this bowl.
A basin, right?
Yeah, and we put the Jaffa.
Where they were on the high ground and we were on the low ground.
That's right. So
a lot of that's quite common where we have to. This is the same basin where the ambush happens in Warrior.
Mm-hmm.
If you recognize the same basin at the GVRD, the park
I
reserve.
would have thought it was the Rules of Engagement episode.
And we had great weather. Thank God.
It was hot that day.
Yes, it was quite. There was a lot of cheese. This cheese factor was high that day. And if you're all day in the sun, you start to
poof. Hey,
a little diversionary explosion.
Hey, there's something over there.
Now here's a blending of an effect coming up here.
Yeah, that's nice. This is where you can take a stunt and in a situation that would be too dangerous for the stuntman to do on his own right here, oh,
Yeah.
Excellent.
we actually
So those men
shoot
were
the
not in
men.
proximity to fire.
No, and then we shoot the fire, and then we take the men, and we it's called rotoscope them back on top of the fire.
Well, that looked pretty cool. The proximity of the fire to the people, and it's infinitely more safe to not have people right near fire like that.
Of course.
And it takes half the amount of time when you're not going to have actual. Oh, now that's the night version of the same thing,
Yeah.
and now the two planetary bodies are separated. That is wonderful.
How about that, eh?
I like it.
Time progresses.
Now we have kind of an East Indian influence here because it's Nirti's fortress.
See, now this was another thing. It's interesting, you know, when you sit down to write a story and not being a professional writer, I guess in a way I'm kind of still shocked by the things that are actually probably quite routine for a professional writer. But what I imagined was Nirti actually came to this place and is using it, as she tends to sort of go places and use them and then leave, or she might have 2 or 3 of these. So I never imagined that it would be sort of themed as if it's her fortress, as if this is her homeworld. I had never thought of that. I actually imagined this to be kind of an old, decrepit...
They do talk about the fact that she came and healed them.
Right.
But then if this is her living arrangement, she would have brought in things that
Right.
made her feel comfortable, right?
Right.
Yeah. So
But I would wonder, why would she want to
Bruh.
live with these horrific beings? Which, by the way, the design is fantastic. James,
yeah. Now this is
in our art department, did the designs.
amazing illustrations.
Yeah.
Now this is Alex Sahara and Dion Johnstone, and then that is Sean Tyson. Sean Tyson is from Nightwalkers. He plays the double agent.
All right.
And Dion, you may recognize Dion, or not recognize him rather, who plays Woden. He's from First Ones. Dion and Alex have been in many other episodes in the past. Dion was in First Ones. In Beast of Burden, he played Chaka. He played himself with no makeup in Fifth Man. He was in Foothold as one of the aliens in that. And he was in Forsaken, one of the aliens in that as well. And then Alex was in Beast of Burden. He played Shy One, Chaka's sidekick, as well as he was one of those crazy, weird gill-faced people in Spirits. And he was also in Foothold. He played one of those weird aliens as well. And he played himself, or something that resembled himself, in 1969. He was the hippie bus driving guy in that.
Oh, nice.
So we tend to use the same people if they're good, strong people. And you have to be a Zen master to go through that kind of makeup.
Sure. It is a ton of makeup and very hot. The day, it was middle of summer, pretty well, or late summer. So we had fans and all kinds of air conditioning blowing into them. They'd literally stand over an air conditioner.
Yes, and he has his entire face is covered with latex. So his skin cannot breathe. And if you're claustrophobic, this is not the right job for you. And I kept teasing him and calling him Mr. Hanky the Christmas Pooh.
Bro.
He does kind of look like a bit of a Baby Ruth log, that you might find in the toilet. But it's
clowned on.
Because he's so horribly disfigured, and because we have to kind of sympathize with him, we feel sorry for him, even though he ends up being a bit of an antagonist during the story. We talked about Elephant Man, a lot about Elephant Man, and I reminded him of the John Merrick thing and what was done in that movie. And also I told him about how David Bowie had done it on Broadway and how there was no makeup. He just twisted his body in such a way that you understood, right? So we worked on the physicality and the voice, and he got it. And it was so great. I mean, the first scene was kind of, okay, a little bit more, a little bit less with the voice thing. But eventually, once he got the voice and started to feel what I wanted, right, he understood and he just went for it. And I was like, thank goodness. Because if this makeup doesn't work, then the whole show doesn't work,
It
right?
all falls apart.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the big thing for these characters when I first sort of began playing with them was that they were never evil, right? Like, these guys aren't evil. They just believe the wrong person. Like, Nirti is a god to them, and they really believe that she's helping them, even though she's essentially put them through this process. she has them convinced that this is going to fix them in the longer term, and everything that they do, sticking our guys in the jails, et cetera, has to come from the fact that they believe that they're right.
Well, yeah, they're not stupid. Nirti did, in fact, save them from a plague that was kicking their ass. But and in fact, for all we know, she could have caused the plague that she eventually
exactly.
They're diabolical, right? They can do that kind of stuff. But so they did pull. She was able to pull the metaphorical wool over their eyes in a good way. Because if you're just really, really stupid if you're an indigenous race to a particular planet, and then God comes and the ghoul comes and just fools you, you kind of want to go like O'Neill does every other episode. He goes, well, fine, if they don't want to help, screw them, right?
Yes.
Right. So you kind of have to feel for them a little bit.
Well, apparently she's coming back. I want to set up an ambush. I will inform my men.
So that mountain behind O'Neill's head was, in fact, where the fortress was. The plate was of that particular mountain.
That's right. Just the camera in slightly different position. And I think almost the same plate was shot for Forsaken, I think.
Same mountain?
Yeah, there was a show that was done around that same time. I remember Michelle was out shooting a plate in the same direction as ours.
So just right of that frame right there, that would have been where the fortress was.
And this is a location we've used a billion times. In Knox.
Nice.
Now we have what I referred to as the motley crew, right?
The motley crew.
And we see them in their glory here. That they all kind of come together and then they line up for their curtain call, right? And we see them, and we also see this his telekinetic ability here. So that's kind of fun. So we've got we've got dwarves. We have people who have been burned, people who have elephantitis, real, actual problems. And then we also have latex in there as well.
We have no quarrel with your people, but I must insist you enter this cage.
And then some of our guys, like the fellow who plays Siler, is in a burlap hood just behind Teal Glare, and you can see him struggling against him. He's holding a cable to prevent him from moving forward because he's on a harness.
I have to admit, when I saw the dailies for these scenes, I was actually a little disappointed because it's the writer speaking, and it's the new writer speaking more than anything else. I am always imagined this place about 10 times darker, and these people literally hiding in the shadows.
That would have been cool.
You could barely see anything. There's almost like these shadow shapes.
Well, this is firelight. This is the next best thing to darkness, because if it's too dark, it begins to look a little cheap, right?
Sure.
And when we're in a cave or anything like that, I agree with you. It should be spooky. But if you do all that work on these guys, if you do 3 hours of work on somebody's makeup and then you don't see it, you're gonna piss somebody off, right?
Or you pick and choose your times. I mean, I think that you have the depth that makeup has and such. You can stick it in a shadow, and you'll still, as an audience member, you'll still feel what's going on there in terms of makeup.
I don't disagree, but television does tend to be brighter than the feature version.
Sure.
Yeah. And there's a good reason for that too, because you have to appeal to the masses, and the way that it's being viewed is on a smaller format, right?
Sure.
It's not a 40-foot high frame,
right?
Where you can peruse one eyeball,
right?
Yeah.
And darkness actually has a lot of texture to it. This was fun. We kind of debated this when we shot this.
The appearance of Nirti?
Yeah. And I'm glad we used My Way.
Oh, she is.
Yeah, originally
Nirti.
she just appeared.
Well, originally Carter is shot, is zatted, she falls out of frame.
Yeah.
The camera sort of tilts up on its own, and then
Unmotivated.
appears, unmotivated.
And
And I
then
felt it was
we're-
better. I
so that
I
was-
felt like it was a much more exciting reveal to actually see her midriff, wonder who it is, and then
tilt up to her face.
We know.
I agree. It does. It has a lot more production value. It would have been a little more confusing if we tilted up for no reason,
Exactly.
and then showed her face.
Exactly.
I'm sure you're aware that a second shot from this weapon will kill.
This weapon kills on the first shot.
Then why haven't you already fired?
Because I need you alive.
You?
Yeah. I know, it's kind of hard to believe.
But I need you to help these people.
But I am helping them.
Yeah, I can see that.
Appearances can be deceiving, Colonel O'Neill.
So we should mention too that Jackie actually co-wrote the story. It was an interesting situation that I suppose can only happen in the bullet.
Now Jim Menard actually came up with this idea.
Yeah.
This is a bullet glued onto a piece of glass.
Right.
And we just shook it a little bit, shook the glass, and that gave us the illusion of the bullet hanging in the air.
Right. And that whole sequence was a lot smaller. We were going to have numerous bullets all kind of stream in a la The Matrix.
Right.
And we sort of
we couldn't do too many bullets, because we did this practically.
Right.
This was supposed to be a CG bullet sequence. Right?
That's right.
So the credit goes to Jim Menard for that, for doing it practically. Good on you, Jim.
Jacqueline.
Now, this shot is stolen from when Teal'c zapped somebody in Secrets. That the muzzle shot of the
Zat gun, yeah.
Of the Zat gun.
Yeah.
And we also used that same exact shot in Nightwalkers as well.
All right.
When Sean Tyson zaps them.
It's your transition Batman shot.
Right, exactly. Whammo! Biff, Zowie.
So Jacqueline co-wrote the story. We never sat in a room together and wrote together, which is an interesting thing because a lot of people think that we did.
This is an unpleasant surprise.
Indeed.
We'd known each other sort of in passing, as much as you know each other working on set, etc., through the years, but had never actually had a conversation together. And the first time we talked was on the set on the day that she came out, and we kind of laughed about us being co-writers
and never having talked to each other about it.
Talked before, but the way it worked is that I pitched my story, but we also used an idea that Jacqueline had
about the gene splicing. So those two ideas were similar enough that they got grafted together.
That's right. And it sort of fits well together, and
which is kind of like one of the problems of taking pitches, unsolicited pitches from people.
Mm-hmm.
They go, "Hey, that was my idea." Well, it's a sci-fi show, right? It's a sci-fi show. That certain elements remain the same.
That's right.
If you pitch, in my episode, someone's invisible. Well, you don't just suddenly own invisibility, right?
Right.
I pitched you invisibility. No. So there's a weird kind of you can't just pitch unsolicited because then you can claim, I gave you that story element, or I gave you that thing.
And Brad and Robert generally won't listen to unsolicited pitches, just for that reason. And it's a
legal problem.
That's right. And the sort of the sad thing, I suppose, for Jacqueline's idea is that she had pitched a much more intricate sort of device where you literally, it's like a virtual reality device, and you walk up these virtual stairs and manipulate the DNA sort of physically, and I had written that in way back in one of the original outlines.
Damn.
Just as time went on, it got simpler and simpler, and we'll see what we ended up with here soon.
Simplifying the story is one of the main problems when you do a show like this. We don't have the budget of these big movies, but we're expected to create 45 minutes worth of entertainment. And you make an hour-and-a-half movie, and you're talking about $60 million.
Sure.
Well, we don't have $60 million. We don't have $30 million for half the time.
We don't.
We're having to simplify these things. We have just a tiny fraction of that kind of money.
Well, we don't even have that for the whole season, for 22 hours worth of entertainment.
That's right. So that gives you an idea of the fraction.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things, if you look really carefully, you can see how these doors are being lifted. There's a cable on the edge of the door, which didn't release.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you look at it in a wide shot, you can't really see the cable that good if you don't fixate on it.
Mm-hmm.
But the cables would not disconnect from the door, and that was one of the first things Richard said when we were rehearsing in the cage. He goes, "What's this cable on this this cage door for?" And I go, "Well, it's to lift it up into the air when the guy lifts it with his mind." And he said, "Well, can we disconnect them?" And I said, well, "No, they're actually not made to disconnect." And I kind of, it was like I had to take the bullet for that because it was somehow my fault that the cables didn't disconnect.
Well, it was kind of.
This was the other thing, trying to find everybody's eyes in between the bars.
Yes. Well, and also it was kind of odd that the doors came up to about people's chins too.
Yeah, that was a design I didn't disagree with it, but because we had people being put in and out a lot, it became probably. There's a dark shot where you don't even see his other eye.
Thank God. I like those.
Okay, so the gene splicing machine, and this, I love this set. Bridget did such a great job with this.
It's a beautiful place.
What was this set? What was this? What was a redress of something else? Was it revamped from something else? A colonnade of some kind, or no? It was original.
Not really. This is all pretty original.
Okay.
A lot of the sets you can see bits and pieces of each other in, but this wasn't a direct.
Look at that eyeball.
I know.
That had a little bladder in it that made the eyeball look back and forth. And now, talk to us about this visual effect. How does this work?
Well, this is the DNA device that we were talking about, and it's essentially a playback element. And what we mean by playback is it's a graphical element that we lay into the shots. It doesn't necessarily have to look that real because it's
an alien
using
representation.
A computer. Yeah, I mean this is
so
a
it's
computer.
it's a symbolic representation.
Exactly. And again, as the story went on, and as Brad, sort of rewrote me, and I think I must have done about 7 outline passes. And
7?
Yeah, I'm not sure that's necessarily how many are done. I did a lot of outlines. I only had to do 1 draft of the script, and he just rewrote that from page 1. But
the seed, the spirit,
my spirit lives on. That device got simpler and simpler, and I, as the effects supervisor, put the story away and just had to figure out how to make it do all of these different things, like manipulate DNA, and how do we show that?
There's a lesson in that. And then what Brad did is he brought it back to, brought the story back to being about people instead of a device, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, there have been times when I've, gone, well, let's talk about how cool this thing is. And you go, well, it really doesn't matter. The thing is just a conduit so that we can talk about people or the humanity of the people.
Sure.
And that's a lesson that Brad had learned from. I don't want to speak for Brad, but he wrote many episodes of Outer Limits,
Right.
And so the device or the aliens or whatever, it was always never about them.
Sure.
It was always about the humanity or what the people were going through.
Right.
Right.
And
that was and these various sci-fi elements were just ways of getting them to go through something that they weren't used to. Right.
At its heart, sci-fi is nothing. Well, good sci-fi, I don't think isn't about the future, and it isn't about funky spaceships and funky devices in the future or way in the past. It's about us now.
Right.
Like all of these stories are about us in some way or another now.
So science fiction is neither science nor fiction. Discuss. It's like butter. Oh.
Let her know that I'm next. You should pick me.
Her will is my command.
Yeah, well,
this was kind of an interesting sequence because Corin actually threw himself on the ground, and so did Chris Judge for that matter. But Chris has terrible knees. He played college football, and so we just got everyone has bad knees on our show. And so there's a little bit of a struggle here, and then you get thrown on the ground, and he did. And then, of course, Corin throws himself, and he's got no pad here. He goes right down on the ground. These guys, usually, you're regular on the show, I'm going to throw myself down on the ground. I think not, right? But he did quite a lot. And I got to hand it to these guys. They do a lot of their own physical stuff.
Nice.
Do not attempt that again!
Respect.
Carter. You made it through. You're gonna be all right.
No, sir, I don't think I am.
Damn.
We have not met.
No, but I have heard a lot about you.
You're not human.
So that little look is that he's analyzed this guy by reading his mind and told her, given her a report off camera.
Took my ancestors from Earth thousands of years ago and enslaved them.
Sadly, it was not I.
One of the things that's interesting about to note about the show is that we're setting up Corin to be special.
Yes.
Right? He has like a double helix kind of a thing
Yes.
here.
Yeah.
And she recognizes that there's something interesting about him. Now, what's different about his model
you
there?
know,
But it's just her saying there's something different.
We essentially that's what it was. We put in like more of one color kind of thing, but and this was Brad, again told me this in a lesson.
It's because he's
for
from that other
lesson for
planet.
Visual effects supervisor. It doesn't matter. She says
it.
That it's
Kelowna.
special.
Believer.
It's a
Naquita
technology
planet.
that we don't have a lesson in, and we don't necessarily.
Good night,
need to,
Bill
and
of
it's
Truth.
not
Thank you
so
for hanging out.
simple
Thank you
that
for being
can
here. We'll
see,
catch you later.
Ooh, flashy, isn't that cool? And I kept thinking that
Friday
way.
for
Brad
Star Wars.
Remind me that that's not the case. So.
Well, but we were trying to plant the seed that the reason why his learning ability was so advanced and so accelerated was that he was special.
Right.
And that we were going to pay that off later down the road.
Right.
And so that was one. This was one of the first indications that there was something special about him and his physiology.
Right.
They will not listen.
The other thing to note is that when you deal with a very powerful device, it's important that the device somehow not work at the end of the episode, or that you don't get your hands on it to use it in the future.
Somehow you got to walk away from.
So that was one of the conceits of this show, is that we allow Mr. Hanky, the Christmas poo, to say, we're going to destroy this after I turn myself into... Yeah, after I'm fixed.
We should... I'll mention something when we get to that shot, too. I wish.
Get some rest.
So now we have...
It's in order.
One of the influences...
This is a nice
I'm going to die, this looks hopeless. Yeah, these are the kinds of moments.
Nice.
The head on the shoulder thing?
Yeah, that's really nice.
You mean a simple thing like that?
Yeah. I didn't write any of this stuff, but I don't know whether Brad necessarily wrote that into the script or not.
He did.
Did he?
Yeah.
Was it on his shoulder?
Brad wrote, she puts her head on his shoulder.
Right.
A lot of good things are actually written on this show. They're not just ad-libbed by the actors.
Why did you bring me here?
Because you're different.
How's that?
You're much closer than the others.
Oh.
With my help, you could complete the transformation.
End up looking like those others?
No. I assure you.
Here's another lesson I learned as a writer when we were first talking about the story. One of the first ideas that we were sort of sitting around talking about, and Brad really wanted this scene, and he specifically said, and then we'll have the seduction scene. And I heard him say that, and for whatever reason, I just didn't write it. Like, I never put it in an outline, and he may have even mentioned it again, and I just never wrote the seduction scene in my draft.
Because you didn't seriously consider that he might contemplate it?
Brad's a funny guy. Brad is really funny, and he says lots of funny things.
You mean like funny like a clown? Like funny for your amusement? Like that kind of funny?
Well, funny, haha.
Yeah, funny,
or
haha.
funny.
Yeah.
It's happened before. The other one was in Menace.
Well, why didn't you give it credence? Is it because you didn't think that he would consider it? Or you didn't think she would offer?
I didn't think that she would offer.
Well, she does offer. She's seduced many men in the past to give them, infinite power.
Well, we've never seen that.
Well, of course we've never seen it, but she must have. She can seduce a
But she must have.
into thinking that she's a goddess. She could easily seduce a man into.
She always struck me as a Goa'uld who was like more of a gymnast than a seductress, and I think that's what she was, and I think that's why this scene is actually kind of creepy in a way, because she's.
What about the interview with the vampire angle and the fact that she's thousands of years old and that she's human nature is like. She understands the weaknesses of the individual mortal.
Sure. Oh yeah, I buy all of that.
Yeah.
just for whatever reason, I just didn't pick up on it. And then when he hit the draft, when he wrote the one that we actually shot, this scene was in there, and I sort of, oh my God, he was serious, and it's great. I mean, it's great.
Because then we kind of understand how they operate, right? And of course, she just smacks him onto the ground,
right?
And he was never gonna actually do it, otherwise he wouldn't be a regular, right?
Of course.
But you'd think that he'd go along for a little bit. You know, if not just to get a little nookie,
sure.
Right? I said nookie. But he doesn't even pretend that he's going to go for it. It doesn't forward the plot, does it? Or she knows. We're made to understand that he's special.
Yes.
Otherwise, she would not have made that
the pass.
Yeah.
No.
And then I think we find out later that he has a prophecy, doesn't he? Something she did do something to him. Something actually happened when he was in the machine.
Right.
And there's no indication of that in this episode, but we do
later down the line.
We do backsell it later in the episode Prophecy.
Ooh.
It's interesting how all of these stories. I mean, we'd like to think that everything was planned out from sort of square one and followed through to plan right to the end of the season. But there's a lot of vamping. It's like, it's like jazz almost. An episode will form. Ideas will come, they'll change dramatically, and then that will
stories will do well.
Sure.
Some actors will impress us, where some will not.
Yeah, things will just work in the process. That a story is never complete until the show itself is done, not much less the script. And like the Menace character, she originally was not in any way related to the replicators, and now she has spawned these other.
The replicants
of the
episode,
replicators, and that's just a whole branch of the story that came out of this one little idea that I had that then Brad would go bananas with and spin off in all kinds of crazy directions. I think that's his greatest strength too.
To branch and graft and
to hear a story and spin on it, just play with it. And it's like musical almost. You watch him and Robert,
like jazz.
Yeah,
good improvisational jazz.
It's fun too. It's true artistry. Although they'd laugh at me for saying that.
Well,
thank God they don't listen to these.
From someone's watching on the outside, it might appear that way. Instead of just a couple of guys in a room going, "What if this happens? What if that happens? What if this happens?" You might begin to understand that over the course of their entire writing careers, and they have been locked up in quite a lot of rooms staring at a blank screen for many hours on end. And they've come to the, inescapable conclusion that a lot of stories follow a certain path.
Right.
And you and I are just learning, it's not really about the device, it's really about the people.
Right. Exactly. Like lesson number 3.
Stop! What he says is true.
Busted.
My brother? She murdered him. She has murdered hundreds of our people. And she intends to do the same to us.
Oh, busted.
Jaffa Creed!
Yeah, that's right.
This is kind of fun. So this is being suspended by the neck.
Stop. I am your God.
We had all that air. We were going to blow air to make it look like
and she just flexed her throat, and that looked great.
Exactly.
And she dangled her feet. She was hanging on a bar, and we picked her up, and that made her feet dangle.
It's not about the technology. It's about the people.
Right. Sometimes we make a joke. Is this too? Oh, that's gotta hurt.
We flopped that shot. Oh, I remember Candace, our continuity person, came to me and said, they had her fall to screen left. And that's wrong, isn't it? That's wrong. And I said, of course it's wrong. And she was right. And what did we have to do? We had to flop the shot.
Bro.
Whatever. It was a cool sequence. It's all that matters.
Love it.
It looked cool. Sometimes it isn't about people. It's just about looking cool.
Hurry. While there is still time.
So this is kind of fun. So this is a sprint to the finish. Gotta save Carter.
Right.
Sir.
Oh, she's glowing because
Glow
women
swim.
don't sweat, as you know. And she's fixed.
It is done.
So now it's important that we wrap it up real fast. So Nirti meets her maker.
Yep.
Nirti bites the dust.
And that was a long. There was a long. Was there a
She had a
debate?
pretty good run.
That didn't actually happen, and I wasn't even convinced that it would happen. When I originally pitched the story, that's what I said. She died, and Brad wasn't so sure.
Yeah, well, she's
and Brad and Robert
she's
actually
cool. It's cool to have her out there,
totally
being an enemy.
She's a great bad guy. And do you want to write somebody like that out? And I don't know. Where's the body? That's all I can say.
Right.
Huh?
If there's no body, she's not dead.
Exactly.
Good point.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Gould could be festering in there. And we've had guys with broken necks live for a fair amount of time.
This is true. You know what the other thing with this story is that there's very little humor.
You're right.
Like there's one line, one Rick line, one O'Neill line.
Oh,
coming up
where he says about it's a movie.
Yeah.
Things it's lightening up now. It's hard to be funny while something bad is happening.
To Oz?
The Wizard of Oz.
To Oz.
Part of that movie.
Part of that movie.
Love it.
That is ad-lib, by the way.
Yes.
You want to get in the... he's got a chicken foot there. He used to refer to his left hand as the chicken foot.
So when we shot this, we Peter actually didn't think we'd do an effector. I said, yeah, of course. Oh, sick DNA. And so right at the end, we had, Pete, run in. And so Peter ran in and pretended to be the healed guy. We were going to do
version
a
of him.
morph from that guy to Peter DeLuise pulling this crazy face. Wish we had done it.
Oh, yeah. I made that face like I was getting my temperature taken rectally. I remember that.
Bro.
That was a funny face. Yeah. Well, we have such great fun on this show, don't we?
It's a laugh a second.
Bridget McGuire.
Too funny, dude.
Great.
Todd Masters
awesome.
won an Emmy this year for.
They have fun
work
over
on,
there.
6 Feet Under.
Really?
Yeah.
Because what he did?
When we
dead
lost,
people make
we
up?
lost. I think our 14th Emmy in a row.
Yeah.
He was there and he won his.
Oh well, good on him. He does the great Unas stuff for us. He does makes Chaka look incredible.
Great.
Good on you, Todd Masters.
Well done.
He's the master.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, you guys. And then we got one special feature from that episode that we'll watch. Hopefully they don't show too much from the episode so I don't get all written up and sent to the principal's office for copyright nonsense. All right, here we go.
This is day one of Metamorphosis.
How are they doing back there?
Episode 16. And we're working on the first scene of Metamorphosis, a very tight shot of a card swipe that ends up being over onto a shot of an elevator. And now every morning, not a lot of people know this, Gisela hands us these little mini sides. It shows an example. This is how my morning starts every morning. What do you say?
Well, they have a small version of the call sheet.
These are called mini sides.
Yes, and they have the script pages inside.
Well, what do you say to me every morning?
Good morning, Peter. Do you have sides already?
Thank you, Gisela, for these sides. For without them, I would be lost.
Like everybody else on the crew.
Now, everybody gets a copy of these, and it's basically what we're going to shoot. Here's a tight shot, the scene number, a brief description of what those things are. I can't seem to get them there. This is a mini copy of the copy, and then this is also quite helpful. The actual lines that they need to say. And you'll see that as the elevator door opens, Carter walks up to the elevator and presses the button. In a moment, the doors open and she sees Jonas and an attractive nurse. That's what we're working on right now. Lieutenant Rush, played by our own Jackie Jansen, our female stand-in. Carter's usually Amanda Tapping has a stand-in named Jackie, and today she has a speaking part, and she will be playing the part of Lieutenant Rush for us. And ready, steady, action!
I'm sure I'll see you again.
Hey, with any luck, I'll get sick.
And cut.
Hi, I'm Dan Shea, a stunt coordinator for Stargate SG1. We're setting up for what we call a double ram shot. There's going to be a Jaffa cannon on top of the hill, and they're going to shoot a big, huge fireball explosion at our guys. We're going to have two stunt guys dressed up in heavy Jaffa armor who are going to be air rammed through the air. And we're just rehearsing now to set up for the shot. We've got all our guys here helping to set up the pads. We've got Mr. Kirk Bond, Ram legend in there. We have the two Rams hid behind the wall there.
Okay, go ahead, Scott. So when Peter calls action, there'll be a very large, very hot fireball explosion within those bricks. It's really hot, especially because of the radiant heat, so nobody should be any closer than Video Village. There'll be a lot of heat traveling. Good possibility some of those bricks will get launched because they're just styrofoam. So they may fly, maybe they'll be on fire, maybe they won't. We have fire protection here, so we'll have a guy on. We'll have a couple guys up the road.
Maybe they'll be on fire, maybe they
We'll have an
won't.
extinguisher guy down here. That's about it. Don't come any closer than Video Village.
Okay, so now let's move everybody back behind Video Village.
Right?
Gasoline.
What?
Did you say here you go?
Someone on that flag? Sean?
Yeah, Arcade's going back from the bottom of the hill.
What did he want?
Sorry, Arc, just a little bit to the right. It's flopping around.
There, oh, what's the difference?
Speed on in. The boys clear. The boys clear. Come on in, Jim. Okay. Okay, now guys, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Hell yeah.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead. Go ahead. Roll camera. Roll it.
Sounds good.
Speed on A, speed on C. 3, 2, 1. Action.
And cut.
Damn. Hell yeah.
Sure, go for it. To save money. Or the inventive.
Oh yeah, there's that glass piece that we're talking about.
Through a piece of glass where a bullet is suspended, and the character over the wheel.
He's telling you secrets, Jimmy. Oh my God.
So basically, it has a secret. So basically, the object would be when Neil's firing his weapon. There's the piece of glass. There's the bullet. And there's the camera. And the effect would be. Terry, can you just show?
Terry, do us a nice pass, Rack.
There's the bullet.
I'll hang on to it.
It's genius.
Good shape.
It feels pretty good now.
And action.
Yeah, dude.
I'll get it.
I am going to confiscate the camera. We've got a long day ahead of us, and we got to be done by 5:45.
Nice, dude. Hell yeah. That was it, you guys. That was SG1 Wednesday and some special features. That was alright, though. We did alright. We watched it. We made it happen. We caught 4 episodes. So we'll be back tomorrow. Wait, no, I'm sorry. Not tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be busy tomorrow. Friday we'll be back for some Star Wars. You'll see what Star Wars I have in store. And then Monday we'll be back with some more cartoons, anime, something along those lines. Tuesday we got some more 40K. I think we're gonna start painting. We finally made our last Terminator, but we still have that teleport beacon or whatever it's called. Yeah, whatever it's called, it's back there. Maybe I'll just put that guy together real quick off camera, or maybe during something on maybe during the Star Wars on Friday. That way we can get our painting done for Tuesday, or at least started. And then next Wednesday we'll go back to some more Stargate, you guys. It'll be a few more episodes and we're almost done with season 6. But good stuff, you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out. Everybody that was here. Area 51, Bella Truth, Ubi, Francis. What else was here? All the bots, lurkers. We'll be back again here Friday. I'll catch you guys soon. Thank you guys for being here. Peace.